Yeah. What is good, Sixer Nation? Welcome on in to another edition of Philly Take with RB. We are back with our annual trade deadline special, where we live react to all of the NBA trades leading up to the deadline. One of our best shows of the year, man. I am pumped. I am excited. We have a Sixers trade to break down from about an hour and a half ago, and we'll see what else they do along with the rest of the NBA. Last year, there was a record 19 trades on NBA deadline day. I don't know if we'll have the same this year, because last night I was up late, felt like I couldn't even sleep with all of the madness going on. One big trade after another big trade after another big trade. Lot to break down, lot to unpack. We'll do our best here, and we'll talk about it as we move all the way through up until the 3 p.m. trade deadline. You know, it's pretty funny, man. A lot of people I see in the chat, they're like, yo, RB's late, RB's late. Maxie's going to have to call RB out for being late. The least y'all could do is sit in here and hit the damn like button, man. We got 200 people in here already waiting for your boy. We only got 50 likes, man. See the problem there? It's not adding up. Nonetheless, man, welcome into Philly Take with RB. I'll be honest, man, crazy week. Games the last couple nights. Now we're here Thursday morning, afternoon, not our normal time of streaming. So do me a favor, like the show so we can push it out to more viewers, and we can get this thing popping, man. I don't know how many people are live for the deadline right now. I know a lot of people were up late night. There was a lot of crazy trades that happened. I want to talk about those, but I would be doing all of my Sixer faithful a disservice if I didn't start with the Reggie Jackson trade that happened earlier this afternoon or earlier this morning. Before I do that, let me give a couple shout outs to the members in here. We got a $2 super chat from my guy Sharp. Sharp says like and subscribe to RB. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Hold on. If any trades go down, I got the siren ready on the soundboard, but let me hit the bell for you one time, man. Let's go, man. There's not a lot of streams that happen like this one. You know, the free agency one on July 1st is always amazing. Last year, they had us up until, 4 in the morning when Paul George got signed. And here we are for the trade deadline. I kind of think I know what the Sixers are doing, but you never know with how this NBA trade deadline is played out. And if any big moves happen, let me know in the chat. Just drop. Well, actually, before we used to drop Woj bomb. Guess we can't do that anymore. I guess we got to drop Shams bomb in the chat. No false Shams bombs in the chat. If you do that, you're getting booted. And let's have a great, fun time. We got Jordan E in the chat. What's up, Jordan E? Lexi in the building. We got Lawrence Green, Sixer Sam. If you guys want to become a channel member and support us, man, click the link pinned in the YouTube live chat. Also, check out our new website. Check out the merch. All the other ways to support us down below. And we got the phones working, I think. That's why I was actually late by 10 minutes. I was trying to make sure the phones were working, but I guess we'll have to test them out when somebody calls in later on. So the number to call, 518-318-7716. You can see that on the bottom left corner. But with that being said, man, I guess we got to get into it, right? We'll see if any other trades happen. A lot has happened already. You know, a lot's already happened. So who knows what today's going to look like, but do me a favor. Once again, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 42,000 subscribers. Banj, what's up, bro? D Green, what's up? Riaz, what's up? I don't know if you guys are tapping in from work or school. Where are you guys tapping in from? Let me know in the chat. I know it's going to be a snow day, kind of, sort of, for some of you today. So, you know, even if you're at school, put in the AirPods. You know, don't listen to your teacher. What's wrong with you? We got trade deadline stuff today, man. We got trade deadline stuff. I remember working at my old job, you know, and I was like trying to sneak my phone and tweet as much as I could. And man, I don't miss those days. I'm glad I get to sit here and live react to the NBA trade deadline. It's a blessing, man. I cannot wait. But if you're stuck in at home, let me know, man. and we'll see what happens. We'll talk about a summation of what happened last night because it was absolutely insane. It's why I barely slept, because I felt like as soon as I went to sleep, something insane was going to happen. Let's see who we got in the chat, though, man. Where y'all tapping in from? We got a bunch of people in the work crew. We got the car crew. We got Ice Day in Cleveland. Got off of work. Tapping in from the University of Buffalo. What's up, man? Jason, what's up, bro? Kenneth, what's up? Christian tapping in from the crib. Gabe's is getting an MRI right now. Well, hope everything's all right, man. Hector says, I got the AirPods in. We got who else? Who else? We got home watching TV. Got my earbuds in at school. Let's see, man. Swarm, what's going on, bro? We got everybody tapped in at home. We got people at work. All right, man, let's get it. Hayden Azanaro, $2 super chat. Thank you, my man. Says tapping in from the University at Buffalo in stats 119. Let's go, baby. My boy's in class. He says, screw the stats. I'll give you the stats, bro. Just walk out of class real quick. I'll give you the stats. We'll start it off with the trade that happened today. So last year was Buddy Hield at like 11 a.m. I remember I did a video about that, but we got a trade here this morning, a little bit while after I woke up. Here is the official terms of the trade. The Philadelphia 76ers trade with the Washington Wizards, and the Wizards get Reggie Jackson, a 2026 first-round pick, least favorable of the Clippers, OKC, and the Rockets. And the Sixers get Jared Butler and 4 second-round picks in the future, a 2027 second, 2028 second, and 2 2030 seconds. So my instant reaction when I heard this trade was, whoa. We gave up a first-round pick, but I didn't have more information yet. So then as we got more information, and they said it is the second first-round pick that was acquired in the James Harden trade, which is the least favorable of the Clippers, Thunder, and Rockets, I said, okay, that's okay. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is this second-round pick that the Sixers had in 2026 is going to come to the Sixers, but it'll be the least favorable of the Clippers, Thunder, and Rockets. Let's say it's going to be the Thunder, right? Let's say the Thunder next year in 2026, they win the NBA championship and they have the worst pick in the first round. Let's say at least it's a top or a worst 5 pick in the first round, like 25, 27, 29. Sixers essentially gave up a first round pick at the end of the first round to get 4 future second round picks. And they also get Jared Butler. Now, who is Jared Butler? Remember that game back on January 8th that we were live streaming? And that dude was cooking off the bench. And we said, Jared Butler. And I talked about him, right? I said, I like Jared Butler. He was a national champion at Baylor, was on one of the most physically dominant college teams of all time. I think he won Junior of the Year. I believe he was a junior. And he was a really good player. He ended up getting drafted in the second round by the Utah Jazz, 40th overall. But I remember very fondly that draft where the Sixers drafted Jaden Springer back in 2021. I remember being on this show and I said, yo, they need to draft Jared Butler. He's a physical guard, can score well, can create off the dribble, and he's very physical defensively. And for some reason, he fell. And we saw through the first several years of his career, he hasn't found a role anywhere. But then when we looked at his numbers this year with the Wizards, it was like every time he played, he was putting up numbers. Now, the Wizards are in a weird spot because they're trying to tank. So any guy that's playing well, they just sit them. Kyle Kuzma is an example of that. But every guy that was showing promise for the Wizards this year, they started to bench. So Jared Butler's having the best year of his career. He's only 24 years old. In my opinion, this is a good piece that you pick up and you get off Reggie Jackson. So as I start to digest this trade more, I'm like, hey, this actually makes sense. You give up a first round pick at the end of the first round and you get 4 second round picks. But then the question becomes, are the Sixers going to do something else with these picks? Is it to use these in a bigger trade? So that's where my thoughts are at. We'll talk about what I think the Sixers are going to do in a second, but that's the gist of this trade. Sixers get another young piece and they get 4 second round picks, right? So a little more on this. Keith Smith here says Philly is clearing out a little more flexibility under the tax line by shipping out Reggie Jackson. Jared Butler is currently on a two-way contract, so the Sixers will need to make a move there to bring him in. Look for Justin Edwards, who is currently on a two-way, to get converted to a standard NBA contract. I mean, at this point, man, it's very obvious, right? Like, Justin Edwards should be on a standard contract. He looks like an absolute gem, and he should be here the rest of the year. He should be here years into the future. Justin Edwards is playing amazing, even though I'm still frustrated last night with Nick Nurse only playing him 24 minutes, only playing Ricky Council 5 minutes. That was a game the Sixers should have won last night. And I feel like Nick Nurse really blew the game by playing Eric Gordon the entire fourth quarter, playing Kyle Lowry, and guys like that. Reggie Jackson had a good game last night. And then he gets shipped off to Washington. The reports are they might try to move him again or waive him. So we'll see what happens. But Reggie Jackson, thank you for your contributions. We got a $2 super chat from Hayden Azanaro. He says, probably not going to happen, but would love Cam Johnson on this team. I haven't heard a lot about Cam Johnson recently. Like, he was the biggest name on the trade market. But then after that, it was kind of just like, hold on. I'm sorry. We just got an update from Mark Stein. We'll get back to this in a second. I don't think Cam Johnson's going to get traded. Hold on. We just got an update from, hold on. I got all my things set up I want to talk about. See, we can't be doing this. Hold on. Where did I just see that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. We're going to hit the siren, all right? I hope you guys aren't in class, and I hope you don't got your phones on blast right now. But we got a semi-sort of breaking news bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news coming out just now from Mark Stein. And I am not necessarily happy about this, okay? Mark Stein reports that Caleb Martin has been sidelined with a recent hip injury, which we knew, and was said to be nearing a return for the 76ers. But after consultation between both teams and the league office, Philadelphia has now agreed to send an additional second-round pick to Dallas. The Sixers just gave up another second-round pick. The Sixers just gave up another second-round pick because Caleb Martin is not fully healthy. Remember last night on the show? When I said, what if that trade gets rescinded? It might have had a chance to get rescinded. Are you kidding me, bro? All right. We'll get back to this in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to hit the like button, man. We got 500 people rocking with us in here, man. Get us to 500 likes. It will really help us out. So KJ Martin was traded yesterday, and the Sixers end up giving up 2 second-round picks to dump off KJ Martin's contract. Now, if you don't know what happened with that, the Sixers signed KJ Martin to a balloon contract back in the offseason. They gave him more money with the anticipation that they were going to trade him in a bigger deal for a better player that could upgrade the team. Obviously, the season's not going well. They're 20-30. So they decided to dump off KJ Martin's contract. And the reason they did that now, instead of waiting at the end of the season when his contract was non-guaranteed and they could have waived it for free, is because Joshua Harris doesn't want to pull out his checkbook and pay tax. And for the third straight year, the Sixers are ducking the NBA tax. So the Sixers gave up 2 second-round picks in that trade. They got 4 back today from the Wizards, but they did give up a first-round pick, and now they've given up another second-round pick in this Caleb Martin trade. Keep in mind, they got a second-round pick from the Dallas Mavericks. It was their own second round pick back in 2025. So now the second round picks are negated, and you pretty much just gave up Caleb Martin for Quentin Grimes. Before, we were looking at it saying, damn, you know, at least we got a draft pick, right? At least we got our second round pick back. And now the Sixers are sending another second round pick because Caleb Martin is injured. I mean, it's just unbelievable, man. It's just unbelievable, man. I don't understand this at all. Do you guys agree with this or no? Like I said, I'm trying to process this stuff in real time with you guys, man, but doesn't anybody else think that sounds pretty odd, like pretty strange? The NBA steps in and they say the Sixers have to send another second round pick, even though the Mavericks knew when they traded for Caleb Martin that he was injured. They knew that Caleb Martin was injured and they still traded for him. And the Sixers now have to send a second round pick because of that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, guess we'll hear more about that as we move on. We have a $10 super chat from Carlos Rosado. Carlos in the chat. What's up, bro? Hold on. Let me see if I can find your comment. I can't even find it. But Carlos Rosado, $10 super chat. He says, RB, we are in tank mode. Our team has never been able to get to any continuity due to the lineup changes, injuries, etc. It's time we start playing for a lottery pick. As much as I love my Sixers, but we are bad. Carlos, appreciate the super chat, but I do have some bad news for you. We'll get back to that in a second. But anyway, we'll talk about this. But let's go back to what we were saying about Reggie Jackson. Let's go back to Reggie Jackson. All right, so the Sixers do that. Jared Butler's on a two-way, so the Sixers are probably going to convert Justin Edwards to a standard NBA contract. And then we had Bobby Marks. Here's my tweet about Bobby Marks. Here it is. Philadelphia now has 12 players under contract. They are now $3.5 million below the tax line. So they're $3.5 million below. And Philly now has 12 players under contract. So keep that in mind. And with this trade today, well, now this might be impacted a little bit, but as of before the news we just heard, the Sixers have 6 incoming first-round picks. They have their own in 2026. They have their own in 2028. They have their own in 2029, 2030, and 2031. They have an unprotected first from the Clippers via the James Harden trade in 2028. They no longer have that second one in 2026, which probably would have been at the end of the first round. But they have a top 3 protected swap right with the Clippers in 2029. So as long as it is not top 3, they are able, if they want to swap with the Clippers. They have 3 tradable first round picks, 9 second round picks, but now I guess that number is 8. And in terms of outgoing first round picks, they have the top 6 protected this year to Oklahoma City, meaning if it is not in the top 6, it will go to Oklahoma City. And then next year, or I'm sorry, in 2027, they have a top 8 protected first to the Brooklyn Nets, which is 2027. So in 2027, if that is a top 8 pick, the Sixers will keep it. If not, it'll go to Brooklyn. And that's only if the conditions are met to Oklahoma City with this pick. So definitely a lot of interesting wrinkles in here. But here is my take on the 76ers, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, welcome in 520 people. Please do me a solid and hit the like button so we can get this out to more people. And we're going to hit the horn in just a second, man. But the Sixers are obviously trying to get under the luxury tax line. They are obviously, I'm not going to say they're tanking because Joel Embiid came back. Paul George came back. And the Sixers are just trying to sell off the veteran pieces that they know are not going to be here or either are going to leave, or guys that they're maybe trying to get out from under, like the contracts like Caleb Martin, who was signed for 4 years. So they're trying to get younger. They're trying to add pieces. But like I said yesterday in my video, I still don't think they're going about it the best way possible. Like, they've made some good moves, but at the same time, they're not bad enough to lose enough games to get the top 6 pick this year, but they're also not good enough to really be a contending threat. And, you know, I've heard so many people back and forth like, hey, you know, the 76ers this, like, they're only 50 games into the season, they're going to be fine. No, they're not. No, they're not. They still have no continuity on the floor with Joel Embiid and Paul George. Tyrese Maxey's playing amazing, but he can't be the only one. He can't be the only one. So no Jared McCain for the rest of the year. I think they're just trying to get a look at some of these young guys. They'll bring in Quentin Grimes and Jared Butler. But in terms of being a contender, I think the Sixers realize that this is not the year. So that is my take. That's my take. They realize this is not the year. They're still going to try to win games and give some exposure to their young guys, even though last night, once again, they go against that philosophy, and Nick Nurse doesn't even play Ricky Council more than 5 minutes. So I just think there's a lot of confusion from front office to coaching, etc. But it's quite clear what the ownership has done again. Even though they told us they were going to go into the first apron and stay there this year, they ducked the tax line. And what do I think is going to happen over the next hour and a half? I think Andre Drummond's going to be traded. I think Eric Gordon is going to be traded. That's where I'm at. I think those two are probably going to get traded. I know a lot of people want Kyle Lowry to get traded, but he has a no trade clause, and he will finish his career here in Philadelphia, which I hate because Nick Nurse continues to play Kyle Lowry, which is very annoying. So that's where I'm at, man. I cannot believe what we just heard about Caleb Martin. If you guys are just tuning in, the Sixers are now giving up a second-round pick in the Caleb Martin trade because the NBA stepped in and said that Caleb Martin is injured, and instead of canceling the trade, they forced the Sixers to give a second-round pick to Dallas. So the second-round pick they got back from Quentin Grimes is now negated, and this just feels very weird to me. Feels very weird to me. So I'm not happy about that. All right, before we get back to live reacting, and I will read your comments, I'm going to take some phone calls. So if you guys want to call in, the number is on the screen at the bottom left. I want to go over a couple other things from the NBA that happened. And this trade happened earlier today. The Raptors trading Davion Mitchell to the Miami Heat for PJ Tucker, a second-round pick, and cash. I'm guessing that'll be part of the Jimmy Butler trade, which was enormous last night. But PJ Tucker's out here getting tossed around like a rag doll. So I don't think PJ Tucker may ever play again. I don't think he may ever play again. I mean, he doesn't want to play for anybody. The NBA did not step in, says Jason in the chat. Well, Jason, I don't know if you have prescription glasses or not, but let me see if you can read real quick, okay? After consultation between both teams and the league office. Do you know what that means, Jason? Do you want me to like spell it out for you? Do you want me to write it on like a piece of paper and email it to you? I mean, I'm pretty sure it says exactly what I said. See, that's the funny thing about people is like, they're like, oh, how dare you say this and that? They've been saying that to me on Twitter. And I'm like, I'm telling you exactly what it says. I'm reacting to it, giving you the news, and then I give my opinion after that. Simple as that. Simple as that. And that was just one comment I just saw, but it's funny. Like, it's funny how people deny facts. Like, it says it right here in the reporting. So anyway, but yeah, let's talk about what happened last night, because unbelievable trade late at night. All right. Can we drop some Jared McCain's in the chat? Jared McCain is the rookie of the year. All right. Sixers won the war. Lakers are trading Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, a 2031 unprotected first-round pick, and a 2030 pick swap to the Hornets for Mark Williams. Who do you guys think won this trade? I know the Lakers are desperate for a center. They tried to get Vucevic. They tried to get Valanciunas. But, yo, they gave up Dalton Connect and an unprotected first and a 2030 pick swap. That sounds like a lot to me. Man. I know the Lakers needed a center. Mark Williams is an athletic specimen. This guy, I think he has, they said, like a 9'9" standing reach. Like, this guy's insane, man. He's got a huge wingspan, great shot blocker, athletic. Now he's going to actually play some meaningful ball, you know? It's no more sitting there in Charlotte losing games by 51 points. It's like, all right, now they got the bright lights on you. And I'm surprised the Lakers gave up this much to get him. You know, I figured the Lakers were building for the future. I didn't know if they were going to really try to win like that this year. Maybe they want to send LeBron out on a playoff run. Mark Williams is a good center, you know, and he started to emerge the last couple weeks, but at the same time, it's a lot. It's a lot to give up, you know? Crazy. So that's a lot. So, but anyway, Dalton Connect, no longer on the Lakers. We know there was a lot of talk there about Connect and McCain. Jared McCain, Rookie of the Year. I miss Jared McCain. $5 Super Chat. Brian Pumper says the NBA is not about to let anything for the Sixers slide, but the Lakers can trade a 31-year-old AD for a 25-year-old superstar phenomenon in Luka. And you know what's crazy? Speaking of that, Brian Pumper, welcome into the show. The Lakers, they gave up more to get Mark Williams than they did Luka Doncic. Anybody else think about that? I know they gave up Anthony Davis, right? But in terms of picks-wise, draft capital, they gave up more to get Mark Williams than they did Luka Doncic. Anybody else think that's weird? Like, come on now. Dallas Mavericks have botched this deadline. Then they trade for an injured Caleb Martin. I still think that trade is very fishy, man. It does not add up for me. All right, let's talk about a couple other trades that happened last night. We had this trade. The New Orleans Pelicans trade Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors for Bruce Brown Jr., Kelly Olynyk, 1 first-round pick, and 1 second-round pick. Remember the time when all these, stars like Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma, remember when all these guys were rumored for like 3 first-round picks? Remember that? And now they're all getting traded for 1 first-round pick and a pick swap and things like that. So Pelicans makes a lot of sense for them. They don't want to pay Brandon Ingram. We'll see if the Raptors want to pay him. I think it's a wonky fit with RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes, but I feel like that is what the Raptors do. I feel like that's what Masai Ujiri does. Like he'll just buy guys at a low time, even though they're trying to tank. They've won I think 7 out of their last 11 games. And the Raptors essentially just pick up players that are in weird situations, and then they just try to build with that moving forward. So rather than, I guess, building in the draft, they pick up RJ Barrett last year. Now they got Brandon Ingram. So, yeah, interesting trade. I think the Pelicans wanted to get off, some salary. They'll probably waive Bruce Brown or try to reroute him. And yeah, Kelly Olynyk, all these guys will be gone. So that's where I'm at with this trade. I think it makes sense to finally move Brandon Ingram out from the New Orleans Pelicans. Then we had this trade. The Kyle Kuzma trade had already happened, but now the Knicks traded Jericho Sims to the Milwaukee Bucks, and they also sent DeLon Wright and cash to the Knicks for Sims. So he was included in that trade. And obviously we had, this was really weird too. Everybody was saying to me, at least the Sixers, now they can sign guys on the buyout market. Now they can sign guys who have made more than the league average. Well, guess what? The main target, everybody's been telling me, Lonzo Ball, agreed to a 2-year, $20 million extension last night. And I think the Chicago Bulls are probably the only team worse in terms of executive leadership right now than the Sixers. I don't understand why they did this. They have 50 guards on a roster. Vucevic is still there. They're trying to move him. They traded DeRozan too late. They traded Levine the other day, barely got anything. They traded Caruso in the offseason, got nothing for him. And now they re-signed Lonzo Ball, which is very, very puzzling. Very puzzling. So I don't understand why that is even a thing. But the Chicago Bulls did that. And obviously the biggest trade of the night was Jimmy Butler. Let me see if I can get the full trade here, because it ended up being a 5-team trade. And it was absolutely nuts. Who had the full trade? I think it was Legion Hoops. Guys, 580 people in here. We don't even have 200 likes, man. Hit the like button. Help us push this show around to more people. Welcome in. Let's see where that trade was at. I think they had it in here. Like I said, we'll be live all the way up until the trade deadline at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll have videos out recapping it all, but certainly some interesting things. Then I want to get the chat involved as well. Dude, do they not have the thing on here? All right, here we go. Here we go. So Golden State got Jimmy Butler. Not only did they get Jimmy Butler, they gave him a 2-year 100 and I think it was 12. It was a typo, but 2-year $112 million extension. So Jimmy Butler threw a tantrum for half the season. Then he got exactly what he wanted after he said he would not play in Golden State. So the Warriors going for one last hoorah. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. Let me know what you think about that. Miami gets Andrew Wiggins, PJ Tucker, and a protected first, but then they just traded PJ Tucker. So they got a first-round pick in Andrew Wiggins. Detroit inherits some salary. They take Lindy Waters and Josh Richardson. Dennis Schroeder, I'm sure you all heard his quotes the other day. He goes to Utah, which is kind of hilarious. And then Kyle Anderson goes to the Raptors, but Kyle Anderson actually ended up staying in Miami, I believe, because then they got voided out of that trade. I don't know. Something happened with Kyle Anderson, but that's kind of where I'm at. Ben in the chat says, tuning in from England, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I'm going to get to your guys' comments. I promise, man. I promise. We got 200 likes in the building. Let's go, man. Let's go. Hold on. Let's hit that. Let's hit the horn one time. We got NBA trade deadline day, man. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's wake up them neighbors, baby. I'll be honest, I'm drained. Back-to-back games the last 2 nights. A lot of coverage, but we're here, baby. We're here. 600 people in the chat. Do me a favor, like the stream right now. Let's get it to 600 likes, man. If you guys want to call into the show, call through the Discord or on the phone lines, and we'll try to get you in. I'm pretty sure we got the phones working this time. So if you want to dial the number and try it up, that's up to you. But let's do it, man. All right. Here's my question, and we will keep an eye on everything. If a big trade happens, drop Shams bomb in the chat. I do not like the news that we just got about the Sixers having to send an additional first-round pick to the Mavericks, because now you look at it, the Sixers have received 4 second-round picks. Actually, I had a thing here. Let me pull it up, make it easier for myself. Here it is. This is what I tweeted out earlier today. So at the current time of what we knew, they have gotten 4 second-round picks. They got their 2025 second-round pick back, Jared Butler and Quentin Grimes. But in terms of what they have sent out, Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, Reggie Jackson, 1 future first-round pick, and now we can change this to 3 future second-round picks because now they are adding another draft pick in that trade. So here's what I want to ask you guys in the chat right now. What grade at this current time, 1:18 p.m. Eastern time, what grade would you give the Sixers as of right now at this current moment in time for the NBA trade deadline? What grade would you give them? Like, if I had to think about this off the top of my head, I mean, again, it all depends on their strategy. I do think we could see another player or 2 moved by 3 p.m. I think the most likely candidates are Andre Drummond and Eric Gordon. But coming into the season, knowing what the expectations were to now be at this point, and I feel like you missed your home run chance to trade Paul George if you wanted to with the Jimmy Butler trade. But right now, especially now that they had to give another second-round pick, like they've given up a first-round pick, even though it's late in the first round, and 3 seconds, and they've gotten pretty much 5 seconds. So they got 5 seconds, and they've given up 3 seconds and a first-round pick, and they got 2 young players who are still kind of unproven. So I guess, I mean, I would give them like a C- probably if I had to pick right now. Now, if they trade a couple more and get more picks, like I said, my ideology was either go all in or go all out. Like that was my thing, man. I don't want to give up second round picks to dump a contract just because you're trying to avoid the tax, you know? So I don't like that. I definitely don't like that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, I don't like that. I don't like giving up draft picks. I think you should be trying to stack as many picks as you can get. And now you're below the tax line. So it honestly just feels like an ownership type of move. $5 super chat from Riaz. He says, RB, would you want the Sixers to get another floor spacer like Heald? Sixers are 20th in the league in threes. We could use a Luke Kennard with Joel back now. So I understand your point about getting like more talent and more, you know, floor spacers and guys who can knock down shots and all that. But here's my thing. I don't think the Sixers are trying to win this year. And what really frustrates me is that it feels like they are going to sell us the idea again of Joel, Paul George, Maxey, and McCain next year. What I saw last night from Paul George, like, this guy just doesn't have it. No offense to him. Very nice guy. I liked the idea of signing him, and I thought he would be able to step in and be the third option. But quite frankly, like if PG just played a little bit better last night, Sixers win that game. Honestly, I'm starting to think if Paul George didn't play last night, Sixers win that game. And now they said last night that he's going to be dealing with a torn tendon in his pinky and will be playing through it for 6 weeks. So that probably tanked even any trade value he did have. So, to be honest, I just don't think the Paul George contract fits, and I don't know if you're going to be able to get out of it, to be quite honest. I want to take a look at the Sixers cap table here. And look, I understand some people don't even care about this stuff, but it's very important with the new CBA. It's very hard to make deals and make moves like this. So I don't think the Sixers are going to buy any pieces. I think what they're trying to do now is recoup draft picks, but at the same time, they're giving up draft picks. And it's just honestly a business move. I'm looking at some of the grades in the chat. John Max is a B. Mr. Dread says D. Richie says an F. Cyber says B+. AJ says C. C, F, D, D-, C. So yeah, a lot of people are in the middle, man. It's been very mid. It's been very mid. But I think what the new CBA has shown us is that, again, you can't build teams with 3 stars anymore. Can't build teams with 3 stars anymore. It's just not the way to go. It's not the way to go at all. So, hold on. I'm just making sure that we don't have any more news. Like I said, if something big happens, drop Shams bomb in the chat. Any trade? It's been quiet. It's been pretty quiet with an hour and a half to go. It's been a little bit disappointing so far, but we'll see. All the big trades happened already. The Luka Doncic trade, all that. So yeah, here's what the Sixers cap table now looks like. Actually, I'm sorry, they did not update this fully. I guess they didn't update this because the KJ trade maybe is not finalized. Because they took Reggie Jackson off here. KJ Martin, $8 million. Once he gets finalized, that'll be gone. But yeah, you see when you have Joel Embiid taking up 36.6% of your cap, Paul George taking up 35%, and then Maxey taking up 25%, and his number goes up. It's just going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to work these things out. Let's see. Yeah, see, this hasn't been finalized yet. Like, this number should be below the tax line, which is 170.8 million. So it should be around like 167. So once they get that KJ contract out, that'll update correctly. But yeah, they're beneath the first apron, and they're beneath the tax line as well. Now, if you guys have any questions in the chat, I will try to answer those to the best of my ability. But they do open up an $8 million trade exception with KJ Martin, which could be useful later on. Here's like a better representation of their draft picks. Like 2025, the Sixers don't even have a first round pick unless they get it in the top 6. So they're not going to have any first round picks in 2025. They'll have 1 second that they got back from the Dallas Mavericks. 2026, they have their own first round pick. And now the second one that they had, they just traded to the Washington Wizards. And then second round in 2026, looks like that goes to San Antonio, so they don't even have that. 2027. Well, actually, here, let's just go back to the Bobby Marks tweet. It's a little bit easier to see. They have their own first-round picks in 2026, 28, 29, 2030, and 2031. And they have an unprotected first from the Clippers. So they have 2 in 2028, swap rights with the Clippers in 29, and they have 8 second-round picks because they had to give up another one. So, all right, let's look at the chat. All right, people are saying Shams Bomb. Shams Bomb? All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got from Shams? Let's see, we refresh this here. I got to get a Shams page and leave it up. Follow us on all platforms, by the way, man. Instagram, Twitter, support our brand. Guys, I need y'all to hit the thumbs up, man. I need y'all to hit the thumbs up, man. There are multiple teams making really aggressive calls to the Suns on Kevin Durant. He has not requested a trade. Dude, Twitter, the algorithm is not good anymore. Like, what's going on? Let's go to Shams. All right, we got a trade. We got a trade to announce. Hold on, let's hit the siren, man. Might as well. We don't know how many we're going to get. Phoenix Suns are trading Yusuf Nurkic and a 2026 first-round pick to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Cody Martin, Vasil Micic, and a 2026 second-round pick. So the Suns traded a 2026 first in exchange for a 2026 second. So they moved back from the first to the second round. They get off of Yusuf Nurkic, who has fallen out of the rotation. They're not even playing him. I'll tell you what, man, the Suns are in a very interesting situation because they made a trade I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and they traded, I think it was a 2031 unprotected first in exchange for 3 seconds. They pretty much did what the Sixers did. They were stockpiling draft picks to try to make a bigger move, though. And they tried to get Jimmy Butler. They swung and missed on that. They made it open that they were trying to trade Bradley Beal for the last month in the Jimmy Butler trade. Jimmy Butler went to the Warriors. Bradley Beal wants to stay with Phoenix. He's not going to waive his no-trade clause. And now they made Kevin Durant feel like he's out on an island because they've been shopping him. There were rumors that they may trade him to get Jimmy Butler. So, honestly, man, the Phoenix Suns are in a really bad spot. Like, they're in a weird spot, man. Now they're, I guess, just trying to, upgrade, kinda, sorta. But that's kind of where we're at, man. The Phoenix Suns, they're kind of just, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. You know? They can't move any of their big three. Or that, they don't want to. They want to move Bradley Beal. They can't do that because Bradley Beal has one of the only remaining no trade clauses. And now they're stuck. And that just goes back to what I was saying about the big three and how you can't do it anymore. Every team that has tried this big three model in the new CBA is failing. So let me ask you guys this in the chat right now. What do you think the Sixers are going to do by 3 p.m.? We got an hour and a half to go. What do you think realistically the Sixers will do trade-wise? Do you think they're done? Do you think they have another move in them? Do you think they'll buy a piece? Do you think they'll sell off more guys? I think if I had to predict right now, I think they're going to sell off a couple more. And if they don't, then I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Because you already ducked the tax. Adem Bona is better than Andre Drummond this year. Why not let Bona continue to play and develop? Get rid of Drummond. Why not get rid of Eric Gordon? This is probably the highest value he'll ever be at. Why not get rid of Eric Gordon and Andre Drummond? People are saying get Kevin Durant. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening. There's just not enough teams to be able to do it because they're not going to do a straight swap Kevin Durant for Paul George. Last year, the Sixers traded for Buddy Hield, and then they turned around and they traded Patrick Beverley and Jaden Springer to get second-round picks. So, to be honest, man, I don't think they're going to do anything. This is what they do. They duck the tax. And again, it goes back to what I said in my KJ Martin video yesterday. There's good owners and there's bad owners. Good owners invest in the team and are willing to go the extra level to try to upgrade the team. The Sixers get to the deadline and instead, I mean, again, I figured they were going to sell, but to dump salary and have to trade picks to do it when you could waive KJ at the end of the season, that's ridiculous. Just so you don't have to pay tax. A lot of people are saying they're done in the chat. They might be. They might be. See if we got any other moves from Shams. We had this move earlier. Milwaukee trades Patrick Baldwin Jr. and cash to San Antonio. I feel like all the good moves already happened. Tell you what, the Charlotte Hornets might be cooking, though. They got Dalton Connect, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and they got all these draft picks. So maybe the Hornets are actually cooking for once. Maybe. Maybe. All right, Sixer Nation, how do we feel about the 76ers right now? Like, what's the vibe check? What's the pulse check? How do we feel, man? Welcome into Philly Take with RB. We do this every single year. We got the trade deadline annual show. How many people we got in here, man? 630 people rocking with us live on a Thursday afternoon. I need y'all to hit the like button, man. Get us up to 300 likes. Do us a favor. Help us push this out to more viewers. I want to get to 1,000 likes on this stream. We did it last year, so let's do it. Let's do it. We'll start off with 500, though. Because if the 76ers go through this deadline and they don't do anything else, again, like, how are fans supposed to believe in this team? How are fans supposed to really believe in what the goal is, you know? If you guys want to call into the show, feel free to do that. Numbers on the screen. 518-318-7716. Feel free to call into the show and give us your thoughts because not much is going on right now, to be honest. Let's see if we get this Discord link as well. There we go. A drop in the Discord as well in case anybody wants to chime in on the Discord. I'll be honest with you guys, man. I was going to do this show, but like, I'm just drained. I'm drained from the last couple days, and it's like, Sixers are an interesting team. They're an interesting team. Busy B says it's been a very mid deadline for the Sixers. I just don't like this. I don't like giving off, like with the Quentin Grimes trade, I understand trying to get younger, and I thought they were getting a second round pick in that deal, so I was happy. And I do understand the trade from today. You trade a late first round pick to get 4 second round picks. But what I don't understand is trading off 2 second round picks to get off the KJ Martin contract. And now you have to give up an additional first round pick because the NBA steps in and makes the Sixers send a second rounder, even though the Mavericks knew that Caleb Martin was hurt. Does anybody else think that there's something going on behind the scenes here? Does anybody else think that there is something going on behind the scenes here? I don't understand, bro. The Dallas Mavericks might be the worst freaking team in the NBA this deadline. Chicago might be up there as well. But the Lakers are getting some special treatment here from the NBA, to be quite honest with you. I'm just being honest, bro. I'm being completely honest with you. All right, man. If we got any channel members in here, drop some emojis. Let's see them in the chat. Let's brighten up the chat a bit, man. I feel like once some trades happen, my energy will rise a bit. But so far, it's been the Sixers getting put on display here on trade deadline day, and Yusuf Nurkic goes to the Charlotte Hornets. So that is where we are at. At least we got Jay Butler. We did get a Butler, man. You know what is funny though? I do find it pretty funny. Daryl Morey saw Jared Butler have his career high against the Sixers and said, I'm going to trade for him. Who was here in that Wizard stream? Remember that game where the Sixers almost lost to the 6-win tanking Wizards? Jared Butler was cooking. He was cooking. I was like, yo, go get this guy. I think Daryl Morey might watch the show. I'm not even kidding at this point. Or he might watch my Twitter. I honestly think Daryl Morey looks at Sixers Twitter and is like, all right, let's go get these guys. Here's a tweet that I put out back on January 8th. Where's it at? Where's it at? Hold on. Dude, Twitter's got to wake up here, man. Let me chill. Elon might be watching us. Here it is. Here's a tweet that I put out on January 8th. You can see the timestamp. I said, go get Corey Kispert and Jared Butler. I think Daryl Morey either watched my live stream or looked at my tweet and was like, all right, I got you, RB. I got you. But the funniest thing is like there's always this joke that goes around that Daryl Morey only knows Houston Rockets or guys that play the Sixers and doesn't watch anybody else. And I think that Daryl Morey looked at Jared Butler. Let's look at his stats. Let's look at his stats. Here's Jared Butler. He's only 24 years old. Like I said, former second-round pick in 2021. He's a good player. He was drafted by the Jazz, played 42 games, only one start. He played 8 minutes a game, so really didn't get any opportunity. Then he was with OKC, got no opportunity. Washington last year, 40 games, only played 14 minutes a game, 6.3 points. Didn't play that well. But then this year, 32 games, and he has shot 36.6% from three, almost 7 points a game. I mean, he's got a little bit of potential, man. But here's the thing that really piques my interest. Oh, by the way, we just hit 300 likes, man. Drop the yes sirs in the chat. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's piss off the neighbors real quick. Hold on now. Yeah. Woo. Sir. He's on fire. Let's go, man. Let's go. Remember what I said earlier about the Wizards and how they bench guys when they actually play well because they're tanking? So if we look at this, right? Here's Jared Butler's game logs. So let's go back a little bit. So here is November, right? He's getting no minutes at all. Has no chance to really do anything. And then December, he starts to play, right? So look at the uptick in Jared Butler's minutes here in December. 17, 19, 17, 26, 18. And what does he do? 10 points, 12 points, 14 points. Starting to play a lot better. Okay, boom. And then look, right? He starts to play better, and then they don't play him a lot. 8 minutes, 5 minutes. Doesn't do anything. Then, all of a sudden, on January 5th, he plays 20 minutes out of nowhere, goes 6 for 12 from the field, and he drops 17 points. And then the next game, he plays 22 minutes against the Rockets, and he drops 14 points. And then the next game against the Sixers, he plays 20 minutes, and he drops 26 points. Career high. Then he plays the next game, drops 18 points, and then look, out of nowhere, his minutes go down. Yo, like, I would sue the Washington Wizards if I was one of these players, man. I would have to sue the Wizards. Like, you are messing up my career. Why did they not play him after this? Why did they not play him after this 4-game stretch where he goes 17, 14, 26, and 18? Then they stopped playing him again. His last game, 17 minutes, 8 points. So when Jared Butler plays, he actually plays well. He just doesn't play because they are sabotaging their players and they don't want to play. If I was Chris Middleton right now and I got traded to the Wizards, I'd say, heck no, I'm not going to the Wizards. Sure, you're going to pay me, but like, what's the point? What's in it for me? You're going to end my career. It's like the Cleveland Browns of the NBA. I didn't even know his game logs were that bad. Like that crazy, you know? That's actually wild, man. That is pretty wild. All right, let's see what the chat is saying, man. Ego, what's up, bro? He says 26 on our head top. D Green says ruins their tank job. Secret gift and a Philly Take membership. Woo! Let's go, baby. Thank you for gifting a membership. And my guy Play by Play with JJ got the membership. Let's go, JJ. What's up, bro? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 600 plus in here rocking with us. NBA trade deadline day. Very quiet right now, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens moving forward. Hold up. We just got a Shams bomb. We just got a Shams bomb. I just got notified. Hold on now. Hold on now. We got another trade. Let's go, baby. We got a trade to announce. I know some of your guys' bosses right now are like, yo, what the hell is going on, man? Sorry. Tell them you're in an RB stream. Tell them to subscribe. Tell your boss to subscribe. Tell your boss to subscribe. All right, man. We got a breaking news bomb, a trade that I felt like was coming. Let's pull it up here on the Shams Twitter page. Shout out to Shams holding it down. I met Shams at Summer League. Pretty interesting guy, I'll tell you that. Breaking news. The Atlanta Hawks are trading forward DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Karis LeVert, Georges Niang. No! They traded the minivan. 3 second-round picks and 2 swaps. Woo! Cavaliers are trying to go all in, man. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. Rob R, $10 super chat. Thanks so much, bro. He says, Morey is too stubborn to admit the PG contract is a disaster. He also probably is asking for multiple picks in return for a Paul George trade. Remember, he wanted Evan Mobley for Tobias. He wanted Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and 5 first-round picks for Tobias, man. Damn, bro. Now the Cavs are the best team in the league. Now they're the best teams in the league, man. Now they just got DeAndre Hunter. What do you guys, who won this trade? Who do you guys think won the trade? Wow. I know DeAndre Hunter's a really good, lengthy forward, great versatile perimeter defender. Cavs are going all in. They needed to upgrade on the defensive end, and I think they did that with this trade. I think this is a good player that's going to really fit the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Cavs got a really good player here that'll fit their mold, but I also think they gave up a lot. This was an overpay. This was an overpay. Atlanta Hawks trade DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavs for Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 seconds and 2 swaps. They gave up the minivan, man. They gave up the minivan. Let's look at DeAndre Hunter's stats this year. Honestly, I kind of forget that the Hawks even exist sometimes because they're so irrelevant. Like they'll make like a bunch of moves and then they'll do absolutely nothing. They had one gimmick run to the conference finals when they beat the Sixers, of course, because Ben Simmons folded like a broken lawn chair. But yeah, DeAndre Hunter's putting up some pretty good numbers this year. What the Hawks need to do is they need to get rid of Trae Young because he's not going to win anything there. But 6 years in Atlanta, averaging 19 points a game this season, 39% from three. It'll be interesting to see how he can fit, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, he's not going to have the ball a lot in his hands, but guy who can knock down shots, defend well. I think it's a really good upgrade. So I see why they overpaid for him, but it makes a lot of sense. Watch Daryl Morey. Watch Daryl Morey try to get the minivan back. Watch him try to get the minivan back. Would I take Trae Young? Nah, I don't think I would because I don't think he fits with Tyrese Maxey or Jared McCain. That's my thoughts on that, though. Watch Daryl Morey give up like 2 second-round picks for George Niang. That's a heck of a pickup. How are you trying to downplay it? LOL. So, who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Because when did I downplay a trade? When did I downplay a trade? See, this is what I don't understand, man. Like, do you guys listen? And I'm not just singling you out. But when did I say that I was downplaying any type of trade here? I said they gave up a lot to get him. He's a good piece. Very good piece. And I think he's going to fit the Cavs perfectly for what they're trying to do. Now, the Atlanta Hawks, they got Karis LeVert. Pretty good player. He's always been a solid piece off the bench. Good creator. I knew he'd probably get traded eventually. And they got some draft picks back, which is good. Draft picks are really good. So, Hawks definitely need them. Justin says, no, not you. It was someone else in the chat. All right, my bad, man. Yeah, I just see the comments flying, so it's hard for me to really, connect any. But Jordan E says Hawks got the right idea. I mean, I don't know what the Hawks have except a team that's not really doing much. They've put a lot of young pieces together. A lot have not worked out. I feel like they should be able to get more out of what they have had. All right, who do we got in the chat, man? 600 people. Where we at? 350 on the likes. Get us to 500, man. Get us to 500 likes. Crazy stuff here on trade deadline day. So we finally got a big trade. Finally got a big trade here on deadline day. DeAndre Hunter to the Cavaliers for Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks and 2 swaps. I feel bad for my guy Minivan, man. My guy Minivan finally got on a contender, and then they ship him away. They ship him away. They really gave up the Minivan. I know George Niang, you know, he's just a role player, like just a decent one at best, but still, man, his energy, let's see what he's averaging this year. George's Niang. He's doing what he always does. 8 points off the bench. Shooting 40% from three. Dang, I know Minivan's pissed off right now. Shout out to my dude, man. I always liked George Niang. I know he came on the show and all, but just as a player, I love his energy. I love his attack. I love the way, I mean, obviously he's very slow, but I love the way he can just get up in your grill and start talking smack. I'll never forget the Sixers-Nets game that I went to when Simmons came back to Philly and George Niang is giving these dudes hell, man. That's just how he plays the game. I think his attitude kind of make up for his lack of athleticism. You know, he just kind of, he's one of those guys you don't like to play against. He just gets in your ear a lot. And he can shoot the ball. He can shoot lights out for sure. Let's see. RJ says LeVert is very underrated. He is. He is. And I feel like Karis LeVert finally found a good spot here with Cleveland, and now he's going to Atlanta. It was pretty good with the Nets as well. Shout out to Karis LeVert. I don't know how old he is. Maybe like 28, 29 if I had to guess. Sixer Daily says Niang Philly reunion. I could see Daryl Morey doing it. I could see Morey doing it for sure. Sixers were contenders 2 years ago until they choked versus Boston. Well, they've never been able to make it happen. Play-by-play with JJ says, don't forget trades can occur after 3 as long as it's a signed deal before 3. That is true. That is true. We'll be up here all the way through the deadline. We got 600 people in the chat. Come on, y'all. Everybody at once. Hit the damn like button. Let's wake up the neighbors, bro. Let's piss them off. It's a snow day. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. MVPs in the chat, man. You guys are MVPs, man. I need to find that iconic photo of Daryl Morey sleeping, and I'm going to put that up here until he makes a move. All right, so we know the Reggie Jackson stuff. Let's get that out of here. Let's get that out of here. Hornets are building their team well. I want to find that photo of Daryl Morey sleeping, and until he makes a move. Oh, yeah, by the way, I just saw this report, too. Phoenix's locker room is, quote, toxic right now. The Suns are absolutely cooked. If I had to have a chain of teams that are cooked right now, it is the Dallas Mavericks, the Chicago Bulls, the Phoenix Suns, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Those are the 4 teams that are cooked right now, in my opinion. Look at this cap sheet, man. This is crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. That Paul George contract, that's why they made the move. That's why they made the move. Damn, the neighbors cut out our internet, bro. My bad, yo. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? The neighbors just cut out my Wi-Fi for like 2 seconds. I think they're mad, man. They're mad, bro. Wake them up! Stop cutting off my damn internet! That's why we got to keep hitting the like button, bro. Got to get up to 500 now. They're out here cutting off our internet because I'm too loud. It's all good, bro. Where's this picture of Daryl Morey sleeping? Where is it, man? I got to put this up until he makes another move. Who even made this freaking picture? Who made this picture, bro? Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Oh, man. The fact that we got almost 700 people in here just watching this stuff, I'm like, shout out to you guys, man. I'm like, bro, Daryl, wake up, bro. Remember that time he came out after the draft when they draft? I think it was Jaden Springer, and he came out with his hair all messed up. Came out to the post-game press or the draft presser. We were like, yo, did you just wake up from a nap? This dude's got to wake up, man. You got to make a move, bro. You got to make a move, man. Drummond, you got to go. Gordon, you got to go. Kyle Lowry, you got to get cut. He can't be traded. Kyle Lowry's not going to get traded, but I would cut him tonight, make him an assistant coach tomorrow. The fact that Nick Nurse, I still can't get over that he played Edwards 24 minutes last night and Council 5 minutes and put a lineup of Reggie Jackson, Kyle Lowry, and Eric Gordon on the floor together. Secret says he crashed out after his 12th crumble cookie. Do they really think that they're going to sell us on the idea of Paul George, Embiid, and Maxey again next year? Is that what they think? Is that what they think? Let's see if we can get some more updates here. Denver Nuggets are a team to watch for Chris Boucher. NBA teams are still making calls for Kevin Durant. Here's a live look at Daryl Morey making a call for Kevin Durant. Oh, man. Where you guys tapping in from, man? Let me know in the chat. Who do we got in here? Comments are flying. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, man. So the Sixers have gotten Quentin Grimes. They got Jared Butler, the wrong Jay Butler. Maybe he thought it was Jimmy Butler, but he got Jared Butler. And a bunch of pick swaps. Before trading for Mark Williams, the Lakers contacted the Pistons and tried to trade for Jalen Duren. Lakers swinging for the fences. Honestly, man, at this point, like, just trade for Kevin Durant, bro. Just trade Paul George, get Kevin Durant, try it again, and just do whatever you got to do. Because at this point, it's like, why not? We need 2 more likes to hit 400, man. Let's do it. Let's hit 400. Let's look at the Suns cap sheet real quick. Kevin Durant, $51 million this year, $54.7 next year. And then he's an unrestricted free agent. So, hey, even that's better than the Paul George contract, man. Even that is better than the Paul George contract. I would take Kevin Durant over Paul George every day that ends in Y. I would take him 5 times on Monday, 6 times on Tuesday, and 13 times on Thursday. Now, again, you don't have a lot of draft capital to work with, but the Suns locker room is toxic, according to Ramona Shelburne. It's toxic. How are you going to go back to Phoenix, KD? KD's one of those guys that you can tweet at that will literally reply to you. Like, let's look at Kevin Durant's Twitter, okay? Let's look at Kevin Durant's Twitter. This guy literally replies to random Joes because they say that his legacy is tarnished. I'm actually going to tweet at Kevin Durant. Should I do that, guys? Yes or no? Should I tweet at Kevin Durant? Let's look at his replies. And he's a Commanders fan. Actually, I just put that together, 2 and 2. Look at these replies, bro. Kevin Durant just goes at people on Twitter. I'm about to tweet at Kevin Durant and tell him, yo, Suns locker room culture is too toxic. You can't go back, man. You can't go back. Or maybe constructive criticism. Kevin Durant says we have coaches for that. Remember that one time he was trying to tweet on a burner and it was accidentally his main account? Negative energy merchant doesn't even watch games. We need real fans back. Nicely done. Can you please show us some solid effort on defense and tighten up the sloppy turnovers? We don't need this negative energy at Footprint. Please stay home next time. Only real Suns allowed. Kevin Durant is a Commanders fan. Joshua Harris owns the Commanders. Make it happen. Now I'm going to tweet at Kevin Durant. Let's see. What should I say to Kevin Durant? Suns locker room is toxic. Maxey, Katie, Embiid. Chance to fulfill the legacy. All right, I just tweeted at Kevin Durant. We'll see if he replies to me or not. But ladies and gentlemen, we got 400 likes, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's wake up the neighbors. Please don't cut off the internet again. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been live since 12:40 p.m. We will be live through 3 p.m. Eastern. I know it's been underwhelming, but all the big trades happened. But we got one more in store, man. Maury, wake up. Everybody drop it in the comments right now. Maury, wake up. Maury, wake up. We're going to be doing a video later today with our full trade deadline recap. We're going to be on Bleacher Report at 5 p.m. So tap in with me on Bleacher Report as we recap the deadline. Yeah, you know what's crazy? As soon as I screamed that, my internet dropped down a bit. Maybe it's the weather, but I got to be careful, man. The neighbors are eyeing me. The neighbors are eyeing me right now. Can you guys hear me right now? Hopefully you guys can hear me, man. The neighbors are messing with our Wi-Fi, bro. Neighbors are cooking me, man. All right, man. I mean, we are so down bad as a fan base right now. I'm like, you know what? Just trade, man. Just get Kevin Durant. Just get Kevin Durant, bro. Just get Kevin Durant. My Wi-Fi is literally going from good to average, good to average, good to average. So hopefully this doesn't cut out, man. Where we at? We got 600 people in here. Get us to 500 likes, baby. Get us to 500 likes. Andre Drummond, Eric Gordon, and Paul George for Kevin Durant. Yes or no? Yes or no? See if we got any other updates here. Trying my best to break this down for you guys, but yeah, let's look at the Phoenix Suns again. Let's look at their cap sheet. Look at the Phoenix Suns cap table, man. At least they're not up until 2028. At least they're not there until 2028. Durant, 51, 54. Bradley Beal, ooh, 50, 53, 57. Devin Booker, 49, 53, 57. Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal. Now they got all these guys. Nick Richards, Vasil Micic. Let's look at the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls don't even know what they're doing. Look at all these guards they have. They're trying to trade Kevin Huerter. I could see Daryl Morey trading for Kevin Huerter, and who else did they just trade for? Trey Jones. I could see him trying to trade for Trey Jones. It is definitely interesting, man. It is interesting that now with the new CBA, like, it's very hard to make trades happen. Maybe that's why we're not seeing a lot. But also the big trades, the big dominoes happened already. The big dominoes happened. All right, let's read some comments out here, man. Let's see. Who else we got? Mick says Jared Butler is better than Jimmy at this point. We got to go young. I don't think Jared Butler is better than Jimmy Butler. That's a wild take, my guy. But I like Jared Butler, though. I think the Sixers are like, they're conflicted. They're trying to win games, but they're also trying to get younger and get more draft picks, but then they're also giving up draft picks. So that's where we're at, man. That is where we are at. If you guys want to get the emojis in the chat, become a channel member, cop some merch, join our Discord, support us, man. $2 super chat, Hayden Azanaro. He says, how about Bogdan from Atlanta? Is that really going to move the needle, though? Is that going to move the needle? I mean, he's like an up and down player, too. Like I said, I haven't paid much attention to the Hawks this year, but Bogdan Bogdanovic, $17.2 million. Who could the Sixers even trade to get to that number? I mean, now they're below the tax. They're not in the first apron, so they don't have the restrictions, but like, who are they going to trade to get Bogdan Bogdanovic? Because, again, when you have three guys that are top heavy at the top of the cap table, you know, Kelly Oubre, Drummond, that's $13 million. Guess you could throw Eric Gordon in there and, you know, I mean, it would be hard to get to that number. It would be pretty hard. Jordan E, member for 12 months. What's up, Jordan E? Fire Take Goat. He says, have any team surprised you during this deadline? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Teams that have surprised me, obviously the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers. I think the Chicago Bulls have surprised me, even though I shouldn't be surprised that they didn't get a lot back for Zach LaVine and they re-signed Lonzo Ball. I think the Bulls are in a very weird spot. I expected De'Aaron Fox to be moved. I think that trade makes a lot of sense for San Antonio. Kings had to get off him, even though I think the Kings, like, I think we're at a point now where these teams, like, they're like, oh, I don't want to pay my superstar that I drafted in 2 years, so let me trade him now. Like, I feel like we're getting to a point here where it's like, it's getting out of hand, man. Like, just pay your star. Just pay your star, you know? Like, I like the Kings roster, and they started to win after they fired Mike Brown, but I don't think the fit makes a lot of sense with LaVine and DeRozan. We already saw that. DeRozan, $23 million. LaVine, $44 million. Like, then they trade for Valanciunas. I think the Kings have had a weird deadline. Now you got Sabonis. It's like, I don't know, man. So those are the teams I would say that have surprised me. It's hard to really surprise me a lot, but that Luka Doncic trade is something I would have never, ever seen coming. And I know there's people out there that are like, oh, well, you know, the Mavs won the trade. No, they didn't. The Mavs did something idiotic. The Mavs did something very idiotic. The Mavs are not winning the championship. You guys can clip that. You can mark it down. Do whatever. The Mavs have screwed themselves. They have screwed themselves. It's a pretty good lineup, man. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. Tell you what, man, I'm at the point where I'm ready to just see a young, hungry lineup. And I feel like we have seen a lot of glimpses of that recently with Adem Ricky Council, Justin Edwards. I feel like we've seen a lot of potential for that, you know? But then again, you got these vets that just infiltrate the minutes and, you know, you're not really giving them a chance to continue to show what they have. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. How many people we got in here now, man? 600 people still rocking with us on the trade deadline day. Do me a favor. I need everybody to hit that thumbs up. Get us to 500 likes. We're almost there. We are almost there. Yeah, Fox wanted out of Sacramento because they pretty much blamed him for the coach getting fired. But the Mavericks, they're screwed. Kings are screwed for the moment. Sixers are kind of screwed for the moment. I feel like Sixer fans have just hit a point now where they're just like, damn, like we don't know really what to think or do. We're just kind of checked out. Thankfully, the Eagles have been so good that they're taking the attention away. But once the Eagles season ends, everybody's going to be looking at the Sixers to do something, and they're just not really serious. And my thing is like, how are you going to continue to sell this idea to the fan base? Like, how are you going to continue to do that when they've already seen what it is? Paul George is going to be another year older. Joel's going to be another year older. And they just get hurt. I mean, look at how many games they've played. They don't play games. They don't play games. I'm excited for Maxey and McCain ball, though. All right, if you guys have any questions in the chat, I will try to answer them. Any comments, thoughts, let me know in the chat. Let's see. ESPN and Major League Rugby just made a deal on trade deadline day. Really? I didn't even know there was Major League Rugby. Bro, I think we're doing nothing else and signing Lonzo Ball in the buyout market. Lonzo is not in the buyout market anymore, bro. He just signed a 2-year extension with Chicago in a very, very strange move. So Lonzo is staying with the Chicago Bulls. I feel like every year I come on here and do this and I expect the Sixers to make a big move and then they don't do anything. It's like a repeat every year. Let's see. Be prepared for ref ball RB Chiefs getting 3 in a row. Nah, they're not. Eagles are winning. Also, I cover the Eagles, by the way, guys, on a channel called A to Z Philly. Mods, drop it in the chat. Go subscribe to that channel, man. Show us some love, man. Yeah, Lonzo signed with the Bulls in a very strange move. RB, would you do Joel for KD straight up? Joel can't be traded till the end of the season, but if hypothetically would I do it right now? Yeah, I would. Just to get out of the next 5 years of the Joel contract, I would. And I love Joel Embiid. But KD only has 1 more year left after this one, and I think you're trending towards a future of young guys. So that's where I'm at. $5 super chat from Hayden Azanaro. Hayden, thanks for all the love, bro. Very much appreciated. Let's see. Hayden says, sucks if Drummond and Gordon do not get traded. They are going to take all the backup minutes, and now Jalen Carter is really sick from an illness going around. Yeah, I did see that. Jalen Carter dealing with an illness. Hope everybody's safe out there. Hopefully he's okay. But yeah, I agree, Hayden. That's another reason I want to see Drummond and Gordon traded, because like Nick Nurse really believes down in his core that Eric Gordon and Andre Drummond and Kyle Lowry give you a better chance to win right now than Ricky Council, Justin Edwards, and Adem Bona. Like, he really does believe that. And here's my question to the chat, actually. Another question I have. Do you think Nick Nurse is even going to play Quentin Grimes? Is he even going to play Quentin Grimes? Because I think he might play Quentin Grimes and then play Kyle Lowry over him. Is he going to play Jared Butler? Or is it going to be another situation where Jared Butler gets 7 minutes a game and then falls out of the rotation? I don't know if he's going to play him, which is crazy to think. But I agree 100%, Hayden. Then we got a $5 super chat from Rob R. Rob, thank you so much, man. Hypothetical, just for fun. Would you rather have Maxey with Drew Holiday's defense or Embiid with Jokic's durability? Oh, that is a good question, man. That is a good question. Maxey with Drew Holiday's defense or Embiid with Jokic's durability? And are we saying at their current ages? Like, are we saying right now Joel Embiid, like who has already been hurt 12 times in the last year or two? Or are we saying just in general? That's a really tough one. Honestly, I think I got to go with Joel Embiid with Jokic's durability. Like, if Joel Embiid could dominate and play a whole 82-game season, we've never seen it. We've never seen it, you know? And Embiid was an MVP playing through injury for years. And if he could just stay healthy, like that's always been the underlying question. Can Joel Embiid play a full healthy playoff run? And I think even if he was healthy, despite the Tobias Harrises and the Ben Simmons of the world, I still think he probably would have carried this team to a finals. So I'm going to go Embiid, but I think it's a really good question because Maxey with that defensive level, I mean, then you're starting to talk about a guy who is top 5 in the NBA. And I think Maxey can get there. Like, Maxey's very, very young. Very young. Rob R in the chat says prime Embiid. Oh, that's even easier then I'm going with Joel Embiid. Prime Embiid, absolutely. With Jokic's durability to play every season, absolutely going with Joel Embiid. Great question, though. Great question. Even when Embiid's healthy right now, he's unstoppable. But the problem is that he's only played 14 games out of 50. So wonder if anything else is going to happen. Looks like the Sixers just tweeted out themselves. Sixers just tweeted out something. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Reggie Jackson thank you post. Thanks a lot, Sixers. Thank you, Reggie Jackson. It was short-lived, but it happened. It happened. $2 super chat from Greg Sanchez. Sell everything besides Maxey for Kevin Durant. So I hear you, Greg. I agree with you, but unfortunately, Joel Embiid cannot be traded. Joel Embiid cannot be traded. Paul George will not be traded for Kevin Durant. And I don't think anything else can be traded for Kevin Durant. So unless the Phoenix Suns are so toxic right now and they're like, you know what? We hate it. We got to blow it up. Everybody's pissed off. I don't see how they make this work. Cavs basically have 4 all-stars and 20-point per game players in their starting 5. Cavs are going all in, and I respect it. I commend it, you know? Cavaliers made a coaching change. They have their core, and they've built up continuity. And, look, I think it is a good point about Joel Embiid always saying, like, you know, we need to keep guys together and have continuity, but they also need to have the right guys together. They also need to keep the right players together. Can't build up continuity with a $40 million star that puts up 12 points a game. Can't build up continuity with a $40 million star that won't shoot a basketball. You could have had Jimmy Butler. You should have kept Jimmy with Joel. I believe that those guys would have won a championship or at least got to the finals. But again, a lot of people argued with me for several years saying, well, you know, Joel's not in his prime yet. We got to wait. We got to wait. And I said, damn, man, the Sixers wasted really good opportunities against the Hawks, against the Celtics, against the Raptors. And now you're cursed and you can't even get past the first or second round. Another thing is like why, I mean, the whole James Harden thing happens. And obviously he's a diva as well, who didn't show up in the playoffs. But I really enjoyed watching James Harden and Joel Embiid together. But the Sixers also have never built a formidable roster around Joel Embiid. And it's like they keep trying to patch it up. But honestly, it seems like they're just trying to get younger now. All right, man, we got 465 likes. Let's get it to 500. We're almost there. When we get it to 500 likes, I'm going to the bathroom. If you guys are OGs of the channel, every time RB goes to the bathroom, something happens. Seth Curry got traded to the Sixers when I went to the bathroom. A couple other guys got traded when I go to the bathroom. So I'm gonna put some good juju on the Sixers, and I'm gonna ensure that something happens. All right, I'm gonna call in my reserves, and I'm gonna tell them you got to make a move. You got to make a move. My guess is that Andre Drummond and Eric Gordon get traded as soon as I leave the room. Oh, by the way, Pete Nance was waived. So shout out to Pete Nance. RIP Pete Nance. Cavs drafted a solid core with Allen, Mobley, Garland, and then added Donovan and now DeAndre Hunter. Hey, they waited for their time, man. They built up the glue. You know, they were good, but they weren't great. And they capitalized at the right time. That Donovan Mitchell trade, nobody saw that coming. You remember that? Nobody saw Donovan Mitchell to the Cavaliers, small market. There were questions about whether he wanted to stay. Then he signs an extension last year because they're building a culture. Now they pick up DeAndre Hunter. That's where we're at. Did he wave back? I don't think so. But yeah, we got Maury sleepy time right now. All I'm saying is, like, again, if the Sixers don't make any other moves, oh wait, hold on, we just got another pick. We just got another trade. Hold on. Sound the sirens. Drop the fires in the chat. See what I mean? I was about to go to the bathroom too. Let's go. Hold on, we got a Shams bomb. They're not done yet. Breaking news. The Los Angeles Clippers are trading Terrence Mann and Bones Highland to the Atlanta Hawks for Bogdan Bogdanovic and 3 second-round picks. Shout out to my guy Hayden in the chat. Hayden, if you're out there, bro. If you're out there, man, shout out to you. He just sent a super chat talking about Bogdan Bogdanovic. I'm kind of confused on this one, to be honest. I mean, I guess the Hawks were trying to get off of Bogdanovic in the next 2 years, but 3 second-round picks? I know they got a couple nice players. It looks like the Hawks are just retooling, you know? I think the players make sense, but 3 seconds, I got to see what the seconds are. But the Hawks are like, screw the draft. Screw that. We're just going to get younger and bring in a bunch of feisty guards. They bring in Karis LeVert. They bring in Terrence Mann and Bones Highland. And obviously the minivan. The DeJounte Murray thing didn't work out. So now they're bringing in a couple more guards. Okay. All right. Jalen Johnson is out for the rest of the season. Clint Capella might get traded. They trade DeAndre Hunter. I don't know, man. DeAndre Hunter was a good piece on that team, but I guess you had to sell high while you could. You made me think the Sixers made a trade. We don't give a F about other teams. Well, guess what? Learn how to read. Read the title. This is NBA trade deadline stream. What do you want me to do, bro? The Sixers don't make moves. You want me to sit here quiet for 3 hours? You want me to sit here and say nothing? Because we ain't making any moves, bro. So you can sit out there in the chat. You can start crying. Or he could call up Daryl Morey, tweet at him. You know he reads Twitter, and tell him to make a damn move. Then we'll talk about the Sixers making a move. What do you want me to talk about? Reggie Jackson? The guy stinks. The guy stinks. Cool. We traded Reggie Jackson. We got 4 second-round picks. I only talked about it for the first 50 minutes. And just for that, I'm going to play the siren again. I want you to turn your speaker up as loud as it can go. I want your boss to hear it too. Definitely a weird trade deadline for the Hawks, man. They're getting a bunch of guards. Obviously, they have Trae Young, but now they gave up 3 second-round picks. I don't know how I like that for Terrence Mann and Bones Highland. I don't know. I don't know if I like that for the Hawks completely. Let's go to the Hawks. Let's look at their stats. Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter was second on the team. Jalen Johnson, who's out for the rest of the year. Dyson Daniels has had a really good year. So now you bring in Terrence Mann and Bones Highland. Atlanta take with RB. Look, I'm just talking about the trades that happened, bro. Again, this is an NBA trade deadline stream. I do this every year. And I'm not going to talk about the Sixers for 3 hours when they don't make any moves. Letting James Harden walk might have been the biggest mistake for us, honestly. I don't know if it's the biggest mistake, but is he better than Paul George? Probably, yeah. RB staying hydrated in a Wawa cup, blue mug, and a black tumbler. Yeah, man. Water, tea, and coffee. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. RB, go to the water garden, man. We need Kevin Durant. We got 35 minutes, man. We got 35 minutes. Hawks have a weird roster. Plus, they have Zachary Rasachier. First overall pick. Jared McCain's better, though. McCain's better. Josh Harris told them not to make a trade. He wants to save money for the Washington Commanders. Interesting trade. Hold on, I'm about to go to the bathroom now so we can make a trade, but let me look at the Clippers real quick. I want to see the Clippers because we know they're mid. They're not doing anything. Norman Powell, he's had a really good year, man. Not going to be an all-star most likely, but he's been really good. Remember the Clippers signed a bunch of one-year contracts thinking they were going to do something? Kawhi Leonard, that's just a sad story, man. That's a really sad story. Zubats, they could definitely move him if they wanted, but he's playing really well. 12 boards a game. Bones Highland, 7 points a game. And Terrence Mann, 6 points a game. Remember when they said this guy was untouchable in James Harden trade talks? Remember that? Wow. Things change a lot. Things change a lot, man. If only they had Paul George. If only they had Paul George, man. All right, man. I think it's about that time. We got 656 people rocking with us in the chat. Do me a favor, like the show. We got 500 likes. Hope the neighbors don't cut out the Wi-Fi, but we got to do it for the one time. Let's go! Woo! Yes, sir. Let's go! Let's go, man. We got 30 minutes to go till the NBA trade deadline. It's definitely been a bit underwhelming, but maybe we're gearing up for a blockbuster. $2 super chat, Khalik and Luke. Has there been any trades I missed? Yeah, but I'm not allowed to talk about them because then we get little whiners in the chat. Nah, I'm just kidding, man. But yeah, we've been talking about them for just a couple trades. The most recent one being this one. All right, bro. We'll be back. I'm going to put Sleepy Maury up on the screen. And I need you guys to manifest it in the live chat. I need you to manifest it in the live chat. So right now, whoever you want in the chat, whatever player you want by 3 p.m. Eastern in 30 minutes, I need y'all to drop it in the chat, man. I want to know who you want. Manifest what you want in the chat right now. Let's go, man. All right, I'll be back. We'll see if Daryl Morey does anything. All right, man, we're back. Did we make a trade? Did we make a trade or what? Based on the chat, doesn't look like we did. Yeah, so we're officially cooked, man. If that, I mean, we're pulling out all resorts, man. If that doesn't work, we are officially cooked, man. Maury is asleep. He's asleep, bro. He's asleep, bro. Ah, man. Welcome into the show, man. Philly Take with RB. Sixers on the clock. We got 27 minutes until the NBA trade deadline. We go live every single game, pregame, live game, postgame. We'll have a video out later today. We'll be on Bleacher Report. So we got a lot going on, man. Sub to my Eagles channel as well. We got Super Bowl coverage for this week. I just don't understand why you do not trade Drummond and Gordon. Like, what are they going to do for you, man? What are they going to do for you? What are they going to do for you, man? We do this every single year, man. We get our hopes up every year, man. I mean, dang, if y'all aren't going to do anything, could have just made a video. I wish could you imagine if all these blockbuster trades happened on today? Like, imagine if the Luka trade, Levine and Fox trade, and Ingram, and, all these trades. Imagine if they happened today. Jimmy Butler. That'd be insane. All right, question to the people in the chat. Who do you think is the NBA Finals favorite right now? Who would you pick to win the finals? This is what the Sixers have done so far, but instead of this, there should also be one here that says they trade another second round pick. So, three future second round picks they've sent out. A lot of people picking OKC, Thunder versus Cleveland Cavs. Somebody said Wizards. Just a little second half turnaround for the Washington Wizards. Why not? Why not, man? Cleveland Cavs, Thunder. Yeah, I like the Thunder, man. I like the Thunder. All right, let's see. Yeah, I mean, Thunder look really good, but still, we gotta I feel like this year there's been a lot of good emerging young teams, but we'll see how that translates into the playoffs, because a lot of these teams, they need those battle-tested vets. I'm surprised the Thunder haven't made a move. They have all these picks. What's funny? The Thunder got another draft pick yesterday. Daniel Tice was traded to the Thunder, and for doing that, they took on another draft pick, which was pretty crazy if you think about it. I'm like, the Thunder have all these draft picks. You might as well get another vet to come off the bench. $5 super chat from Hayden Azanaro. Hayden, thanks for the love, bro. Let's see. He says, you know what I think? Sometimes run it back gets tight at me. Imagine if we had Howie Roseman as our GM. Yeah, I mean, you want a GM that cares like that. You want an ownership that cares. That's the issue. That's the problem. That's the problem, man, is that the ownership wants to duck the salary tax. They don't want to contend, and they tried to go all in this season and it failed, and now they're reverting. Their plan is to let's just sell off people and then get draft picks and clean up our mess. I mean, you had a whole cap space plan, right? Howie Roseman would have built a stacked roster while Daryl Morey gave all the cap space to Paul George and then tried to patch the roster with a lot of vets. And if you think about it, the two guys that have really emerged for the Sixers, one is Jared McCain, who was drafted in the mid-first round. And then you have Gershon Yabusele, who nobody wanted to take a flyer on, that Morey gave a contract to after he watched him in the Olympics. So without Yabusele's contributions and without hitting on the McCain pick, imagine where this team would be at. Imagine where they would be at. But I think it all, like, we can talk about Elton Brand. We can talk about Daryl Morey. We can talk about the Colangelos. It doesn't matter because the ownership is not serious, you know, and it really does frustrate the heck out of me how the Washington Commanders go to the conference championship and Josh Harris says that, you know, talent, culture, and leadership build an organization. And the Sixers have been doing the same thing for years. And it's like, they don't even have a pulse on how the fans feel, you know? I don't even think they realize that the fans are just so disgusted. Season ticket holders, like, people are going to stop going to the games. They're going to stop buying season tickets because they are frustrated. It seems like there's no direction, man. And it is because the owners simply are in it for the business. Now they put in a bid for a WNBA team. Why do you think they did that? Do you think they really want to see a champion WNBA team here in Philly? No. It's another business venture. Why do you think they stayed in the sports complex and didn't go into Center City? Because now there's talks about building a hotel plaza in the sports complex. More business, more ventures, you know, same kind of things. Shamsbomb? All right, man. Please, even if it's a little bit of a delay, come on. All right, let's see what it is. Hold on. Please, something. Man, y'all shouldn't have even told me about this one. Cody Zeller? Cody Zeller's still in the NBA? Cody Zeller and a 2028 second-round pick to the Rockets. So the Hawks are just trading everybody, getting off dead weight, and they're pulling kind of a Sixers here by just getting rid of draft picks just so they can clean up guys off their roster. I don't know what the Hawks are doing. I guess they're going to keep Trae Young here with Rasacier and all these young guys are pulling in here, but they're getting rid of draft picks. They're saying, screw the draft. We're just going to retool our team mid-season, look completely different, and keep it going from there. Wow. So the Hawks are, I guess, they're just having fun out here. They're having fun. That was the worst shams bomb. I really thought the Sixers had made a move, and I see Cody Zeller on my timeline here. Wow. They probably haven't updated this. Let's see if we can look at the Atlanta Hawks. Shout out to Spot Track, by the way, man. They've done a really good job. Very quick in updating things. Look, you see that, man? Like, shout out to Spot Track. Can we get a W for Spot Track in the chat, man? They already updated the Karis LeVert trade. They got him in here. They got, look at that. They already updated Terrence Mann, George Niang. W's for Spot Track, man. They already updated a Cody Zeller trade. It just happened, bro. Somebody is on a computer for Spot Track, literally updating this as it happens. They press one button and they're just swapping dudes left and right. This is crazy. I'm sorry, man. I can't believe in this roster, though. I can't believe in this roster. Trae Young, Clint Capella, Karis LeVert, Onyeka Okongwu, Zachary Rasacier, Terrence Mann, Larry Nance, George Niang, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Bones Highland, Cody Zeller, David Roddy. Yeah, no, I can't believe in this team, but they're trying to build for a few years out. They're trying to build for a few years out, I guess. Kevin Durant hasn't tweeted back, so looks like I'm getting left on the dial tone as well. All right, let's look at a couple NBA teams that I feel like should have made moves. Maybe they will, but a couple teams I'm surprised that are not making moves. Indiana Pacers, I thought, would be active in the trade market. You know, they made the conference finals last year. They're trying to get back. Milwaukee made a move. Miami made a move. I thought Detroit would kind of actually buy some pieces rather than just being a salary dump place. Magic are screwed with injuries. Hawks, very interesting deadline. Guess Boston doesn't need anything. So I think the East is pretty understandable. But if we look at the West, I thought the Grizzlies would make a move. They tried to get Jimmy Butler. He didn't want to play there. The Rockets are content with keeping their young guys. OKC, I thought, would pick up a veteran or two just off their bench. I mean, they can afford it. All they got to do is trade a draft pick and open up a roster spot. Timberwolves, I'm surprised, are staying pat. Timberwolves screwed themselves when they traded Karl Anthony Towns and kept Rudy Gobert. Clippers, Lakers, Nuggets. Nuggets, another team, you know. People don't want to talk about the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are infatuated with Sixers and their team, but Denver Nuggets blew a chance last year, you know, to get back to the conference finals. Or was it the first round? I forget. They were playing Minnesota in a game 7 and they choked on their home floor. But Denver Nuggets, man, they blew another opportunity, and who knows if they'll get back. I don't think the Denver Nuggets are good enough to win. I think they're going to get ran off the floor by some of these young teams. You can try to sell me on the idea of Russell Westbrook. I still don't believe in him that much. So the Nuggets are one I'm kind of surprised about that are staying quiet. We got 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the show. Like the show, subscribe to the show. Seems like the league is being run by these young, feisty teams who have been building up assets for a couple years. And honestly, when I look at the Sixers, that's how I kind of envision. That's how I kind of envision the Sixers looking in a couple years. But again, they're going to have to get over the hurdles of, you know, the PG and Embiid contracts. All right, we got another Shams bomb 9 seconds ago. Detroit Pistons are acquiring Dennis Schroeder from the Utah Jazz. I think the season of Dennis Schroeder has to be studied in a lab. Dennis Schroeder was having an all-star season with the Brooklyn Nets, and I know the games were pointless. You know, he was one of the main guys on the team. Like, everybody stinks on the Nets. They're trying to tank. But he was playing really well. Let's see if I can look at his splits here. Yeah, he was averaging 18 points a game this season with Brooklyn in 23 games. And then he goes to the Warriors, and it seems like that's going to be a really good fit. Then the Warriors lose like 10 out of 12. He starts putting up 10 points a game. So he completely dropped off when he went to the Warriors. Went from shooting almost 39% from 3 to 32% from 3. And now he's been traded how many times? Went to the Warriors. Then he went to the Jazz. Now he's with the Pistons. Was there another one in there? Was he with Miami for a second? I think he was with Miami, then the Jazz, then the Pistons. I don't know. But yeah. And you know what's crazy about the Warriors, or not the Warriors, the Thunder, by the way, is like these teams have guys injured. Like Chet Holmgren is going to come back and make the Thunder even better. And once again, I'm still frustrated that the Oklahoma City Thunder did exactly what the Sixers were trying to do. They did it 10 times worse, and there was no repercussions. None. Shams bomb. Is that a new one? New one or no? I don't see any. Shams bomb? Yeah, I don't see anything. The Grizzlies reportedly made a call on Kevin Durant per Bob Myers. Per Bob Myers. Damn, the Suns are going to have a really awkward locker room, man. They're going to have a really awkward locker room. I'll tell you that. They're going to have a really awkward team now. Kevin Durant knows that they were trying to trade him. Bradley Beal knows that they were trying to trade him. We got 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We got 10 minutes. Do you guys think there will be a move in the next 10 minutes? Will there be a move in the next 10 minutes? Sorry, I was trying to make sure that nothing else happened, but yeah, man. If the Sixers do not trade Andre Drummond and Eric Gordon, it just feels like a big miss to me. But again, we have seen this in prior years as well. So it is quite confusing. I mean, they get the 4 seconds from the Wizards and they're not going to make another deal. And now we have the news that came out earlier on this show where the Sixers now have to send an additional second rounder to the Mavericks because Caleb Martin is injured. And if they don't trade Drummond and Gordon, then they're not going to get anything for them. That's my thing when it comes to the Sixers. Like, I just don't understand it. You got Andre Drummond, who's on a $5 million contract this year, very tradable, and he's on a player option next year. And then you have Eric Gordon, who is at $3.3 million, very tradable, and he's on a $3.4 million player option next year. So it's not like these guys are probably going to come back, so why not trade them and get value? You trade KJ Martin to get off his contract so that you don't have to pay tax and you give up picks to do it. But now you keep these guys who are going to take away minutes from the young guys that have already been building momentum. You see how this doesn't really make sense? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Like I said, though, man, I'm used to it. I'm used to it at this point. The Sixers have made us numb, and that's kind of where we're at. Damn, Dennis Schroeder down bad, man. Dennis Schroeder's had a really weird career. He should have took an extension a couple years ago. Then he declined it. Then he ended up being on a 1 year. I think it was a minimum. Never got an opportunity again to get that money. So you got to feel for Dennis Schroeder. Isn't Drummond's a 2-year deal? Yeah, it is, but it's a player option, right? Yeah, player option, $5 million next year. So Drummond can either take that money, which he might opt in and get traded, or he can opt out and hit the free agent market. Oubre can hit the free agent market. Gordon can hit the free agent market. They got the restricted free agent rights on Quentin Grimes, which is nice, and his bird rights. Gershon Yabusele is obviously going to hit the market. Kyle Lowry's going to retire and go play golf. And then they got a bunch of young guys with little money. But you know what my issue is? My issue is like, you just had a whole cap space plan this past summer, right? Daryl Morey pretty much tanked the season last year saying we're going to have so much cap flexibility. We're going to have so many guys that, like so many roster spots that we can use on guys to bring in. And that's what they did last summer. And now they're like going back to the cap space plan again. That's pretty much what they're doing. So your only move is trading Caleb Martin and KJ Martin and Reggie Jackson. I don't know, man. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. Damn, man. Dennis Schroeder has completed the NBA color spectrum. Look at that. Look at that, man. Wow. All right, man. It's time to put up Sleepy Morey pictures again. He's sleeping. He's sleeping. Wait, I think KJ Martin just got traded to the Jazz. Shams bomb. Trade alert. Don't play with me, guys. Don't play with me now. Don't play with me. We got 5 minutes to go. Tired of seeing this Cody Zeller trade. All right, we got a trade, so we're gonna sound the siren again. Let's do it. All right, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Marcus Smart and a 2025 first-round pick to the Washington Wizards in a multi-team trade, which probably means more than two, that sends 2 second-round picks to Memphis. Sources tell ESPN Memphis creates roster flexibility with this move. Maybe they are trying to get Kevin Durant here at the buzzer. Okay, that's very interesting. Maybe they're trying to make a final splash here because they just got rid of Marcus Smart. Okay, here we go. We got another one. The Los Angeles Clippers are trading Kevin Porter Jr. to the Milwaukee Bucks for Marjon Beauchamp. What a mid-trade. What a mid-trade, man. I thought you were going to say the Grizzlies got Kevin Durant. This is a weird move, though, right? I'd have to look at their rosters, but why are the Grizzlies creating a roster spot, giving up a first-round pick to send 2 second-rounders to Memphis? So they pretty much just cleared a roster spot. They just cleared a roster spot. So I feel like this is going to be one of those trades that comes out a few minutes after the trade deadline. Like, I think there's going to be another team involved in this. That's what I think. I think there's going to be another team involved after this, after the deadline. Dennis Schroeder has been traded 3 times in the last 24 hours. Wow. And then we just got a trade right here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sacramento Kings just got Jake LaRavia from the Memphis Grizzlies. That's another guy. Are they going to get Kevin Durant? Are they going to get Kevin Durant? Are they going to get Kevin Durant? Just tell me. We got 10 seconds, bro. Jake LaRavia traded to the Kings, and Marcus Smart traded away as well. Who did Marcus Smart go to? Ben Simmons is a name to watch on the buyout market. Yeah, okay. Okay. Cleveland gets Ben Simmons. They are going to fall down the gutter. Who did Marcus Smart get traded for? The Washington Wizards. Maybe that'll be a buyout candidate. We have hit 3 p.m. Eastern time. Any trade submitted now will not be valid, but anything could be in the works. So we're going to stay on here a few minutes and see if any other details do come out. We're going to see if any other details come out. But as of right now, it seems like Andre Drummond and Eric Gordon will remain on the 76ers roster. So I'm going to pull up the NBA trade deadline updated Sixers tracker. I'm going to tell you guys what the Sixers have done. Very, very interesting trade deadline. All the big moves happened, and the trade deadline day itself was very mediocre. Somebody said Shams Bomb. Please, who is it? Wizards have waived Reggie Jackson. Anything? Whoa. Well, there's my thing about the Pacers. I said they would be active. Pacers are trading James Wiseman and cash to the Toronto Raptors. It's weird, though. Usually they'll say, like, yeah, Kevin Durant is staying with the Suns. I haven't seen a tweet yet saying, like, KD's staying and all that. I think we need Woj back, man. I think we need Woj back. Toronto Raptors, I don't understand what they're doing. And the Pacers are clearing a roster spot. Like, isn't James Wiseman out the rest of the year anyway? I guess they're trying to sign buyout guys. Here we go. The Kings are sending a 2028 second-round pick to Memphis, plus Colby Jones and Alex Len to Washington to acquire Jake LaRavia as part of the Marcus Smart trade. So the Grizzlies pretty much cleared up a couple roster spots with Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia. Maybe they're trying to get buyout guys to help them contend. Washington has taken in a bunch of junk that they can get rid of, along with draft picks. And I don't know why the Kings got in on this trade. Sham said KD is staying put. Okay. Enough with the Horn RB. We are cooked. Why does Philly have 3 roster spots open? I don't know what the Sixers are doing, but I'm going to pull up the final tracker for what the Sixers have done here today. Golden State Warriors are done with trades. Look for them to be aggressive in the buyout market. Shams, what you got for me, bro? What a mediocre trade deadline. Yeah, I don't see anything, but I'm going to pull up what the Sixers have done. I just tweeted it out. Follow me on there as well. Here's the Sixers updated trade deadline summary, okay? So in summation, and by the way, we got 760 people in the chat. Thank you all for being here, man. Like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Help me out, man. We've been covering this since 12:30, and we are doing everything we can here to break it down for you. So thank you all for being here. Okay, so the Sixers traded Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, Reggie Jackson, 1 future first-round pick in the Reggie Jackson trade, which was the lesser of OKC, the Rockets, and the Clippers. Then they trade 3 future second-round picks, 2 in the KJ Martin trade, and now 1 in the Caleb Martin trade because he is injured. So they had to send in another pick. And then the Sixers take in Quentin Grimes, Jared Butler, their 2025 second-round pick back from the Dallas Mavericks, and 4 future second-round picks. They keep Andre Drummond. They keep Eric Gordon. They keep Kelly Oubre. They keep Kyle Lowry and the rest of the team. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now in the chat, what I want you to do is I want you to drop a grade. What grade would you give the 76ers right now? Earlier I said C-. I'm going to say D+. D+ is my final grade. Maybe in between a D+ and a C-, because again, you get younger, you get Quentin Grimes and Jared Butler, so you get a couple unproven prospects. Quentin Grimes, more polished than Jared Butler. And you get 4 second-round picks in exchange for a first. It seems like the Wizards are trying to stockpile first-round picks. But after what we heard earlier about the Sixers having to include another second-round pick in the Caleb Martin trade, and the fact that they did not trade Andre Drummond and Caleb Martin, or I'm sorry, not Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond and Eric Gordon, I think that overall the Sixers made a couple big mistakes, because now Andre Drummond and Eric Gordon are going to continue to take minutes away from the young guys. And when you look at it, the Sixers essentially got 5 second-round picks, and they gave up 3 second-round picks and a first-round pick. So, to be quite honest with you, man, I don't think it was that good of a deadline. I understand trading Caleb Martin if you're going to get rid of the rest of the role players, but was Caleb Martin really the worst issue on this team? Was Caleb Martin really the worst issue on this team? That's my question. I just don't understand, man. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So what grade would you guys give the 76ers in the chat? Let me know. My grade would probably be a D+ or a C-. Shoe Game said, can the Sixers sign players from the buyout market right now, or do they have to wait until a time period? So I believe that they can sign them all the way up until March 1st. So once these guys from the trade deadline, once the fallout happens and the buyouts do happen, they can sign them at any point. And after March 1st, they still can sign guys that are bought out, but those players will not be able to be eligible for the playoffs. So if they want guys that they can sign that can play the rest of the season and into the playoffs, it has to be before March 1st. And that's kind of where we're at with that. But also there's restrictions on teams to sign buyout guys. Now the Sixers don't have any because they are no longer in, the aprons. But even so, like, is the buyout market going to give us anybody good enough to really help this team's issues? Probably not. Probably not. Josh says the problem, RB, Boardwalk Park Place are mortgaged, Embiid and PJ, and we are worried about Baltic and Mediterranean Ave. Okay, interesting. Interesting analogy there. Gordon and Lowry staying for right now. At least they will be traded for cash. B is my grade. Why'd you give them a B? I'm curious. Why would you give them a B? This deadline made me tired, says play-by-play with JJ. KGB says, I procrastinated my work for this BS. Velvet says, let's throw everybody out and start fresh like Subway. We'll build a team around Gordon. Butler is a good pickup. He can grow here. Yeah, he can. Definitely can. I like him. Like him as a player. The Suns are not moving Kevin Durant. At least the Knicks didn't make a move. The Knicks can't make a move. That's why the Knicks are in a really tough spot. Like, if they don't win, they can't do anything because they traded all their assets and went all in for the players. Marcus Smart will probably end up in Phoenix's Ant. Would you take Marcus Smart in the buyout market? Yeah, I would. I like Marcus Smart, but he's also injury prone now. I like his, two-way ability. I think he'd be a nice guard in the backcourt for at least a sample size of minutes, not playing 35 minutes a game. I know Nick Nurse would probably play him 40 minutes a game. Let's see. Might be time to put the Jimmy coffin out in front of the Wells Fargo. That'd be funny. Damn, man. My bad. Let's see. Grimes is getting more minutes than Eric Gordon. I don't know. Do you think Nick Nurse is actually going to play Quentin Grimes? Do you think he's going to play Jared Butler? Because I don't know. He played Ricky Council 5 minutes last night. He played Justin Edwards 24 minutes. When the vets came back, when Paul George came back, he cut the minutes of the young guys. By the way, I want to shout out to everybody that's still in here rocking with me, man. I really do appreciate it. Even though the Sixers stayed quiet and didn't make any other moves, appreciate all the support, man. The fact that we're able to do shows like this and live game coverage and all that, post-game stuff, it's a lot of fun, man. So appreciate you guys. And I know there's probably a ton of people in here that have not subscribed yet. It takes a half a second. It's free. And about 70% of people that watch some of these videos and live streams are not subscribed. So make sure to hit that sub button. Vincent says a B because we got younger and more flexibility for the off season. So personally, we did not get any more flexibility for the off season because KJ's contract was non-guaranteed. We got flexibility for the future. I guess you could look at it because Caleb Martin was on a 4-year deal, but still his number was actually really valuable. So, Caleb Martin's contract was not that bad, but with his injury history and his health, then, you could look at it that way, kind of. Nelson says, appreciate you, RB. Your merch is goated. Thank you, man. Everybody check out the merch. If you guys have copped merch, thank you so much. Mr. 89 says, you need a sponsorship with a company who specializes in high blood pressure. I'm going to hit him up, man. That'll be my selling point. James says, it's done, bro. He's going to still play Eric Gordon and Kyle Lowry before the young guys. All of you who think otherwise don't watch the games or know anything about Nick Nurse. Yeah, I agree. And you know what's funny about that, James? Last night on the postgame show, I was like, the only only solution I have left for Nick Nurse playing the old guys over the young guys last night is that he was trying to showcase them for a potential trade today. That's the only answer I had. And even that I knew was not true. So Nick Nurse really stood there and thought that the best way to win that game last night, that was very, very winnable, was to play Eric Gordon the entire fourth quarter, to play Kyle Lowry deep into the fourth quarter, and only play Ricky Council 5 minutes, and only play Justin Edwards 24 minutes. Like, it was so obvious that what they needed to do yesterday to win that game, even late in the game, you know, Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware both had 13 rebounds. Yabusele was getting horsed on the glass. You had a Dembona who was everywhere, and you didn't put the right guy back in. Like, they needed to put a Dembona back in that game to help on the boards. And, you know, that, like, Nick Nurse really thinks the old guys right now are the way to go for this team. The only real positives is that we officially have a pick in this year's draft when we had none before, and we were able to try to sign Yabu to a solid contract in the offseason. So the Sixers did get their second round pick back. They might not have their first rounder, but I mean, if I'm the 76ers and you're looking at a loaded draft class, yeah, you're going to get Jared McCain back next year, Maxey, but I wanted a pick in the first round in this draft. I really did. So I'm not looking at it positively that way. I think you need more draft picks this year, but it looks like they're stacking up on seconds for 2027, 29, 2030. So we'll see what happens, man. Looks like 2028 could be a real pivotal point. That's when a lot of the contracts start to expire, and you got 2 first-round picks right now via yourself and the LA Clippers. And depending on how the Clippers play, if they end up, you know, tanking in 2028, that could be a top 5 pick. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. RB, we got an $8 million trade exception for KJ, so we can trade that without needing him, which is way easier to trade. I can't get there with the KJ trade. I know you got the exception, but to me, that was still the worst move of the deadline. You could have waived him in the offseason for nothing, but you traded 2 seconds to get him off your books because you don't want to pay luxury tax. So I can't get there with KJ. I think that was an awful trade. I know KJ's been hurt, but he's also started to play really well. So I'm not saying he's untouchable or anything like that, but you traded a young piece along with 2 second-round picks because you didn't want to pay tax. So that's where I'm at with that. I can't get behind that trade. Do the Sixers make the play in, RB? Yeah, I actually do think they're going to make it. I think they're going to be like the 9 seed. They're behind the Chicago Bulls right now, who are obviously tanking. I'm surprised the Bulls, like I said, the Bulls are another crap show. They didn't trade Vucevic, who they've been trying to trade for a month and a half. This is probably your best chance to trade him. You trade Zach LaVine, you don't get much for him. You traded Caruso before. I don't know what the Bulls are doing. Then you re-sign Lonzo Ball. D Green says the Philadelphia tax breaks should be their new name. The Philadelphia taxpayers, baby. Philadelphia taxpayers. But the Sixers are, guess they're trying to stack up on draft picks. But again, it's like you're trying to stack up on draft picks, but you still have the elephant in the room, which is the Paul George contract and the Embiid contract. Like, yeah, we can get younger. You can complement Joel and PG with some of these young guys, but are those two going to be able to stay on the floor and deliver this team to the NBA Finals? That's the question. That's the question. Brother, they are going to be above the Hawks, Bulls, and possibly the Heat. I mean, it doesn't matter where you end up in the play-in. The goal is to get out of the play-in, and you're going to play the Cavs or the Celtics in the first round. Do you guys think they can beat the Cavs or the Celtics in the first round? Yes or no? Because that's the only thing. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Sixers, what they view best, I guess they're banking on Maxey, Oubre if he stays around, Paul George, Yabusele, and Joel Embiid, and Jared McCain. I guess that's kind of what we are, what we're on. RB, if we tank, we get the Thunder pick. Yeah, we're not getting that pick, man. We're too far gone from that. You guys think we can beat the Cavs in a series? I don't know about that. Fully healthy, maybe, but I don't expect us to be fully healthy. Bro, our bench squad almost beat the Celtics. They don't scare me, man. Yeah, but it's regular season. It's regular season, though, you know? I think we could beat them a couple games, but for a whole series, probably not. Playoffs are different, man. Game slows down, different pace. It's a lot different. Healthy, we have them an L on Causeway Street. Well, Sixers might have the Cavs number. That is a fact. But playoffs, different story. My question is, what are the Sixers going to do the rest of the season with Joel and Paul George, you know? Like, are they just going to keep playing them, you know, 1 out of every 4 games? Because that's a completely different story, you know? That's a completely different story. Play-by-play with JJ says, we actually got a trade. All right, let's see what we got. It's 3:20. I was just about to hop off, too. What we got? The Wizards are sending Marvin Bagley III to the Grizzlies. Johnny Davis sent to Memphis. So those are the 2 players, right? Remember I said there would be more info that came in after? Marvin Bagley III and Johnny Davis get sent to the Memphis Grizzlies. Johnny Davis was a top 10 pick by Washington. I think he was number 10. He's been a bust so far. Marvin Bagley, we know he's never really found a spot in his career. So they get rid of Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia, and they get Johnny Davis and Marvin Bagley. So, I mean, Jake LaRavia, I'm pretty sure, has been playing this year, and he's become a pretty good shooter. So, a little bit surprised. But Ant says we had a chance against the Cavaliers, but not anymore. We almost beat the Cavs with Jared McCain in December and just beat them last week, so we clearly can beat them in a series. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. You can't compare regular season games to a playoff series. I do think the Cavs have a lot to prove in the playoffs, that they're not just a faulty, really good regular season team that, you know, can actually sustain themselves in the playoffs. But when the pressure is at its biggest, you know, like if Joel and PG are back playing for 20 straight games and building up chemistry, then yeah, I think the Sixers could be a scary threat going into the playoffs. But the way that they're playing right now, where Embiid and Paul George play a couple games and then don't play, I think that's a really volatile situation to be in. Asia in the chat. What's up, Asia? True Game says, how much you want to bet more he brings back Reggie on the buyout market? He might. He might, man. Celtics didn't take us seriously. They literally chucked threes until they decided to drive in the 4th. Exactly. So, with that being said, man, appreciate everybody being here. We did hit 600 likes. You guys are amazing, man. You guys are incredible. Yes, sir. You guys are amazing, man. Thank you so much for being here. The trade deadline comes and goes. Definitely got some trades later on here. Some things happen. But, you know, overall, I kind of expected this from the Sixers, partially of what they did. You know, getting younger, selling off a couple pieces. Don't like the amount of draft picks they gave up to do it. but they also did get some picks back as well. So that is where we are at, and that is the 2025 NBA trade deadline. We'll be back with a live show tomorrow. Sixers take on the Pistons. Maybe we'll see the debut of Quentin Grimes and maybe Jared Butler as well. Maybe Jared Butler as well. Maybe Joel Embiid will play. Maybe he won't. Maybe Paul George will play. Maybe he won't. Who knows anymore? $5 super chat from Brian Pumper. He says, who is Jared Butler? Sounds like a 2K created player. Are we sure Maury didn't misread the name as Jimmy Butler? Come on, Brian. That's how I know you've been checked out for too long, man. Jared Butler played us on January 8th. He dropped the career high 26 points. Jared Butler had his best game of his career against Philly, man. That's when Maury learned about him, you know? He was like, I got to go get Jared Butler. All seriousness, though, I do like Jared Butler. I do like Jared Butler. Oh, wait, hold on. We just got a Shams bomb. We just got a Shams bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Don't leave me yet. Sound the sirens, baby. Sixers just made a pickup. The final domino has fallen, ladies and gentlemen. This is the move we were waiting for. The final domino has fallen, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. The Sixers finally made a move. Let's go, Maury! Woo! Let's go, baby. Ring that bell. The Philadelphia 76ers are signing all NBA perennial all-star championship contending player Chuma Okeke to a 10-day contract. All right, man. All seriousness. Let's be serious, man. Sixers are signing Chuma Okeke to a 10-day out of the NBA G League's Westchester Knicks. Sources tell ESPN. I love how Shams is putting this out at 3:26 p.m. Woo! Let's go, baby. We get rid of Pete Nance. We bring in Chuma Okeke. Championship incoming, baby. It's championship season, ladies and gentlemen. Chuma Okeke is a 76er, man. I remember this guy from Orlando. It's all about what I remember. Let's look up his stats. Has he played in the NBA this year? Has he played in the NBA? Chuma Okeke. I like his name. I like his name. Let's go, man. He was a first-round pick back in 2019. 16th overall by the Magic. He has not played in the NBA this year. He has not played in the NBA this year. The Sixers signed Chuma Okeke. 25 minutes a game his rookie year, 7.8 points per game. Then 25 minutes, 8.6 points. 19 minutes, 4.7 points. And last season, he played in 47 games, 9.2 minutes, and he scored 2.3 points per game. Average 1.7 boards. He stands. What's his weight and height? What's his weight and height? They don't even tell us. They don't have much info on this guy. What's his, let's see what his height and weight is. He's listed as 6'7", 26 years old. He's listed as 229 pounds. This guy's a tank, man. This guy's a tank. Shot 28% from three last year. Let's go, Chuma Okeke. We got our guy, man. We got our guy, man. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Chuma Okeke for the win. Play-by-play OJ just says bring back Kai Jones. Shout out to Kai Jones, man. Shout out to Kai Jones. Well, at least we know Daryl Morey wasn't sleeping, man. At least we know he wasn't sleeping. This was his big time move, you know? Daryl Morey said, I got to make a move, man. I'm going to make a move before 3 p.m. He probably put in the call at 2:59. And you know what's funny, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to make a video later today, like recapping the deadline. And this happens every year. A couple guys that come to mind, Gary Clark, Willie Cauley-Stein, Dwayne Dedman. I'm going to make a video talking about Chuma Okeke. And there's going to be people in the comments that say, this is an unbelievable signing. This is next level potential. He is going to come in and be the backup 5 and blah, blah, blah. It happens every year. It happens every year. People thought that Willie Cauley-Stein was going to be the next coming of Dwight Howard with the Sixers, and he never played a game. So I'm not trying to poo-poo here on Chuma Okeke, but I don't even know why they made this move. I don't know why they even made this move. The guy hasn't played in the NBA this season. So that's my take. That's my take. He said, hold my beer for the grand finale. Exactly. Morey answered RB's prayers. He did, man. Shout out to Daryl Morey. Shout out to Daryl Morey. Nurse doesn't play newbies. He plays the vets. Exactly. Exactly. Sixers got the final domino, man. Hey, at least we got under the tax, though. At least they got under the tax. What are your guys' final grades? Final grades for the Sixers for the trade deadline. I would say either a D+ or a C-, only because they didn't get off the vets, the other couple they should have, and yeah, they gave up another second-round pick in the Caleb Martin trade. $5 super chat, Mr. 89. He says, yo, how did Rocket fans deal with Morey during his Houston tenure? Well, that's a good question. And I feel like a lot of Rockets fans have tapped in over the years and have expressed their frustration with Daryl Morey. But I will say that I feel like Daryl Morey had more say in Houston. Like here, he's under an ownership that obviously just wants to get tax breaks and, you know, just be good enough, but not great. But the Houston Rockets also had a completely different mold of their team. And they also had maybe a top 5 player. Well, not top 5 player, a top 3 player, but a top 5 player over the last like 20 years, 30 years of James Harden in his prime, who was dropping 40 a night like it was nobody's business. So James Harden made up for a lot of the deficiencies of the Rockets. Like there were times where they didn't even play with a center. Like that's what D'Antoni wanted to do. And it was a new dynamic, you know. Now they never got over the hump. They never beat Golden State. They were close. But I feel like a lot of the roster deficiencies they had was because James Harden, like James Harden made everybody look past that, you know. And Daryl Morey had a lot more, I guess, correlation with how the team was built with the head coach. So that's kind of where I'm at. Ego says, gives us more time to celebrate a championship win with our kids in 2043. Oh, man. But yeah, so, you know, at least the Rockets were making the second round and made the conference finals. But a lot of them did express frustration with Daryl Morey They said he only has like tunnel vision with guys he wants to acquire. He's a star swinger and never really brought in a lot of good developmental pieces. So I just think when you look at some of the moves here, it's like, it's hard to know who to blame mostly, but I think everybody needs to look in the mirror a bit, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. But anyway, somebody said, remember DJ Wilson? I forgot about him, man. I forgot about DJ Wilson. DJ Wilson, Willie Cauley-Stein, Gary Clark, Dwayne Dedman. That's the type of player they're going to sign in the buyout market. It's going to be one of those types of players, not anybody crazy. But it seems like the Sixers are trying to go younger, get more draft capital, which does feel like they're taking a step back. But then again, they have Embiid and Paul George trying to come back and play. So, very conflicted emotions here. And that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, Anthony Tolliver, another one. Oh, man. Hey, man, it's going to get better at some point. It's going to have to get better at some point. But the NBA trade deadline day was very interesting. A lot more interesting before the deadline day. A lot of big moves made. So that's where we're at, man. But appreciate everybody coming through with your boy, man. We'll have a video out later. We'll be live on Bleacher Report at 5 p.m. So tap in over there with me. And we'll see how it all plays out, man. $5 super chat from Fredo Ashtray. He says, hold on, let me pull it up. Josh Harris needs to sell the team to somebody who cares, and Morey needs to be fired or moved to the scouts department for the draft picks. Hashtag Pinky P stinks. Yeah. I understand the frustrations. Like I predicted a couple days ago, I think they're going to try to sell us with this vision. I think they're going to try to sell us on the concept of running it back when those guys are healthy. My concern now is that the young guys that have been building up momentum are now going to continue to have their minutes eaten away. And I think Nick Nurse is kind of frustrated with it, you know? I think Nick Nurse is like, damn, like I got to go out here and answer questions every day about this stuff. And he's just like, what else do I do? You know, the team's not healthy. So we're going to do what we can, man. It's all we can do. Listen, man, no matter what, we got the best community in the world. Things will get better eventually, but we'll be breaking down the madness nonetheless. And now I guess it's the race for the 10 seed, man. Race for the play-in. We're making the play-in, baby. We are making the play-in, man. We are making the play-in. So get ready, gear up, man. We'll still be live every game, covering it, breaking it down, but that's where we stand here on February 6, 2025. On the 2025 trade deadline day. $2 super chat. Jose Serrano says, hopefully we're not wasting our young talent's time. That's what we do a lot, though. We don't give them the chance to develop. We don't give them the chance to blossom. You know, that's what we do a lot. By the way, KJ Martin was traded to the Utah Jazz. He was rerouted in some trade. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Here, let's end it off with something positive, though, man. Let's end it off with one positive thing. I know a lot of people are mad in the chat right now. I need everybody to drop Yabu in the chat, man, because Yabusele is staying with the Sixers, and if they weren't planning to let him go, they would have traded him. If they weren't going to go out there and re-sign him, like if at the end of the season, if they were going to be like, all right, Yabu, you go, then they would have traded him to get value. So Yabusele is going to stay with the Sixers, and he's been a great story. So shout out to Yabu, man. Yabusele has been awesome this year, and he's staying with the Philadelphia 76ers. So that's a positivity corner. But that's all I got. That's all I got. So we'll see what Quentin Grimes and Jared Butler can bring to the table. Definitely like those guys. I think they can bring something. And we'll see what the draft picks end up doing and what they turn into. But that is where we stand as the Philadelphia 76ers past the trade deadline. We'll see what happens as we move forward. They did get Chuma Okeke as well. Appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being here. And hop on Bleacher Report app with me at 5 p.m. Been live for 3 hours, man. I'm going to go take a break. Shout out to the best community in the world, man. Shout out to you guys. NBA trade deadline 2025 in the books. A lot of blockbuster trades. Going to be an interesting rest of the season, man. 32 more games, then we hit the playoffs. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Peace.